Yes. Greetings. Welcome everybody to another episode, another gathering of Unconventional Voice in the Track and Field, that big track meet in Paris.
Today it was in Paris.
It was in Paris today. Yeah.
2 days ago it was in Lausanne.
Yeah, we're traveling around the world.
We are, but not as much as those athletes.
You see Jay Johnson.
Hello.
Anson Henry here. A lot of track and field happening. Back to back. That's what we love to see.
We do.
I think.
Well, we do.
Yeah, I mean, I can feel it kind of tapering off a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, this is like the third Diamond League since the Olympics, right? So we had Prefontaine, then we had Lausanne 2 days ago, and then we've had Paris. So what are you feeling about the whole Diamond League thing since the Olympics?
Well, I would say that I was hyped right after because of Pre. But I don't know. I'm just feeling the excitement trailing off. I feel like the women's 100 kind of maintained it in Lausanne. This week, or not this week, 2 days later now in
2
Paris.
days. Who knows?
Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price pulled out because she was feeling tired.
Fatigue.
Justified.
She's human, guys. She's human.
Yeah.
She's
But
actually
she was
human.
Once she got that win on the lane, she's like, let me just cool out, just a bit. But I bet if she didn't win, she would have ran.
It's mental, right?
Yeah. So
I mean, to be honest, for me, I feel like it's a little bit. I'm the same as you. Like, I was so excited after the Olympics for Prefontaine. But they did a good little hype. You know, there's a lot of hype, a lot of excitement of what people were going to do. And I feel like when it started, it didn't quite live up to the hype for me. I mean, we had some great performances. But one of the things that I'm kind of struggling with this year is that I'm feeling like track and field is really hitting me in the head. Meaning, I'm attached to what the performances are. I'm getting excited. I'm like, I want to see stats. Oh my gosh, this person's doing this. But I'm not really feeling it, like, here.
in the heart.
No, I'm not. And I don't know if it's because I'm old now, you know. I'm like way past when I retired. And, you know, I don't know.
Is that a lot of the people we're watching now are a lot younger than us. So to feel compelled by them and feel inspired by them, I mean, you can feel it, but it's not the same as looking at someone that you look up to, someone you want to be like, someone that's done some things you've never done before. Yeah. A lot of the stuff.
That's true, but I think,
aside from the stats, a lot of the stuff that we're seeing, we did.
Well, not quite, but kind of. Yeah.
Stats wise.
Yeah,
but I'm saying like the traveling and going to the Olympics, being on the circuit. And
I didn't run no 10.6.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But I think what it is for me, and today actually, even though the performances in Paris today were a little bit, you could see athletes were tired, but I think it was, what was a little bit more exciting than Lausanne was the fact that there was a crowd and they were busting some tunes. I heard them playing Rihanna. I was like, yeah, I'm ready for this. And it was loud, so we could actually hear it. And that made a difference. And obviously the crowd, and I think some of the athletes were liking that as well. I think that's what I've been really, really missing this year. And even though Lausanne did have a crowd, you couldn't really hear the crowd. They didn't have any music playing that you could hear through the broadcast. So I don't know. It's like we've got the performances, but I feel like we need it as a whole package.
Okay.
There was one tweet that I saw this week after Lausanne. Costas, I think you've got it somewhere.
I'll big up the one named Costas first of all.
Yeah. He makes me laugh. I love how Costas just goes off and cusses people. He doesn't care. But he's on the stats, you know. He's one of the people that's been around for time. He knows his track and field inside out. He loves a stat. We get a lot of track and field people get their stats from him. And I know that we have one of his.
Yeah. So go on about the tweet.
So basically, I want to see the tweaks. I need to read the thing.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, here we go, right? So it says, despite some strong events here and there, I can't say I was particularly impressed by what I saw in Lausanne yesterday. I've seen many far better editions down the years, and the standard of some events was surprisingly low. But what made me laugh was the responses.
Ouch.
Yeah, he you know.
Yo, he doesn't hold no punches, though.
No, he doesn't.
That's why I rate that guy.
And then the funny thing is, I found it as well here. So the funny thing is, someone, Miko, put exactly my thought. I kind of felt I threw away a couple of hours of my life. Damn, that's getting a bit... Yeah, he said the Olympics was so good, interesting how standards drop from there. It's usual, but it still makes these meets feel quite dull now.
Dull though?
Dull. I'm like,
I don't know if I would have said dull. But I feel it. The light dimming.
Yeah. But I mean, humans. We're not superhumans, they're human beings. So
you think it would be better if the anticipation and the hype would stay up if they were still competing very well? And because there's some people competing well, but we can see today there's some people that are tired. I think Zango in the triple jump, he didn't seem like he wanted to be there.
No, he was just oh my god.
Shamir Little, she looked like she's done with her season.
She ran 57. She's done.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Delilah in Lausanne, and she wasn't here today. Anyway, let's get into the results. Oh, look at this one. Yeah. Oh. All right. Okay. Right. Let's get into the results.
All right. So let's look at some of these stats.
Results and the schedule for the meet today.
So as you can see, we started.
Wait, don't dust. Don't. Are you looking at everything?
Nah, because those are the regional stuff up at the top there.
What about the women's high jump? You just dust past the women's high jump.
I'm tripping, yeah.
We don't have to do. We're not going to do everyone.
The high jump.
But the reason I wanted to talk about the women's high jump was because 2 days ago, these chicks were competing in Lausanne.
Right.
2 days ago. And you know me, names, guys. Just don't judge. Don't judge the names when I get them wrong. But anyway.
I'll help you.
Lassenskyne.
I've heard Lassenskyne. That's the best I've heard it.
What did I say it?
I've heard Lassenskyne, Lassenskynia, Lassenskyne.
Lassitskyne.
What's wrong with that?
Anyway. So she won in Lausanne 2 days ago, 198. Nicola McDermott from Australia, I think she was third 2 days ago with 195. And this is another one. What is that? The young 19-year-old.
Look, update her attempt.
I'm trying, man.
God, trying her best with these names.
Anyway.
Track is a worldwide sport.
Yeah, do it, begs. She came fifth. Look, fifth on there.
Mahuchik.
Yeah, Mahuchik. That's it, Mahuchik.
There you go.
Anyway, 19 years old. She jumped 196, 198 as well 2 days ago, but she's fourth today or fifth actually with 195. But you know what I have to say? That McDermott chick, why does she make me feel so I feel like
her pre-jump
when I watch
ritual
her,
is the best.
No, but when I watch her,
nuts.
I just feel like I am the most pessimistic, negative person. She just looks so happy. She's calling on the Lord. She's like, I just love the world. You know, I love it. But I just watch it and I feel like, oh my God, I need to get a little bit more.
She looks very happy to be
about
out there.
The world. I know.
And after her jumps, she'll rate herself apparently. So I don't know if you guys will see her with her notebook. Yeah. She's writing stuff down. She's rating. Isn't she rating how she felt?
Each section of her jump out of 10.
Every section on a scale from 1 to 10. Yeah.
She's got technical things that they work on. She'll rate out of 10, and it just takes her out of her mind of being too that's the way that she does what she does to kind of keep herself focused on what she needs to and not get pulled into things that don't really serve her jumping as high as she can. So anyway, so that was the women's high jump. It was 198, not bad. 2 jumps at 198.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
We kind of got cussed last time 2 days ago because we didn't go through.
Who cussed us?
We did on our little chat. People were like, "Can you just talk about the meat?"
That's what Costas' nickname should be.
What?
Cussed us.
Cussed us. Why are we always coming up with names? Cuss them. Cussed us. Cuss them.
Cuss them gulas.
Yeah, we kind of got a little bit cussed. They're like, "Why are you not talking about the results.
Yeah, but you have to understand with the people that we had come in.
I know.
You know, we always want to hear as much as we can from world champions, Olympic champions. You know, it's very rare you see people coming together that have done the sport, especially at a high level, talk about it and talk about what's going on. So
and I ain't caught up with those guys for years, so I was happy to do the chat, and I like that kind of element of it as well. Just absolutely, you know. But anyway, so today we decided we're definitely going to do
something a bit more conventional.
Yes, a little.
Because we're unconventional.
Wow.
But the sport is unconventional.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so here's the lovely results as you see, and
So next we can talk about. I think I want to talk about the 4 hurdles women, not to skip. Oh no, let's talk about the pole vault because last competition, Mondo obviously didn't have the competition he wanted. No. His lowest finish ever.
Well, not ever since.
Well, okay, since he's been on top, since he's been
21
Mondo.
years old. I know.
Yeah, since he's been Mondo. In the Diamond League, he finished 4th.
Yeah, which is his lowest place. First time he's finished outside the top 3 since 2000. I think it was 19 Oslo. Apparently, I heard. Thanks to the commentary, they did that work. We didn't have to.
It's nice to see him being human.
Well, you know what they said? They said his dad wasn't there. And he just chose the wrong poles and stuff like that. But the thing is, do you want to really rely on... I mean, I guess he's still young, but you think he's... Be.
To be frank. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, it's cool to have him there, and everyone has a support system. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, if you're depending on that, that's a problem.
But do you know what was really interesting? Before, in the press conference before Lausanne, he was talking about the fact that it was a lot of pressure going into the Olympics because obviously people were putting the medal around his neck already. And so when he got the job done, it's like now he could just breathe in and just have fun and enjoy himself. And then he went on to say that now they asked him, what do you think you're going to do in Lausanne? He's like, well, of course, 6 meters. But, you know, that's like basically what he said is that's easy for me now because I figured out last year how to jump 6 meters. And now it's just a regular thing. And he said that the problem with other people is they can do it, but they just don't believe they can do it. That's why they don't. That's what he said. I was like...
It's kind of a jab.
I was like, ooh. I know, and Sam Kendrick's sitting next to him and he was like, okay, I'm sitting right here, hello. But, but then the funny thing was he said that and then went and jumped like, I think he jumped like 565 or something like that. I think he went out on 565. So
they were happy about that.
Well, he talked and then it didn't happen, but I think he had to come back today. But there was another guy from, is it the Philippines or whatever? Blapsed a little 591 on him first attempt. So then Mondo had to move to 596, got that on the first attempt, and then the rest is history. Yeah, he won the competition. But you know, I wanted to talk about Le Villani. Dude, I know he's got an ankle injury. He's got an injury, but I mean...
It's about time. We're
going to talk about that a bit later with the guests that we've got coming on. Who have we got coming on?
Oh, by the way, I love Renaud. I love what he's done throughout his career. I love the character he is. I'm just saying, I don't want to see him go out, you know, in a lackluster way. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not used to seeing him like that, and I know he's not used to feeling like this, and he's still vaulting fairly well. So to go out on a fairly high note,
and you know what you don't want? You don't want the commentators saying stuff like, "This is the sorry sight." That's what they said. Yeah. Like you were the man. Remember when he was the Mondo a few years back, where he would step on the track and no one was like, you couldn't lose. Yeah. And now it's like, oh, this is a sorry sight to see. And I wouldn't want no one saying that to me.
I don't necessarily want to see
anyway.
That. But I mean, career-wise, big up to one name.
Yeah. What else went on today?
Let's talk about them 4 hurdles. None of the major favorites in this race because Femke Bol decided to run the 400. We'll talk about that a little later. One of the bigger names was Shamir Little. Had a preferred lane, fastest time of the year out of the field. Mm-hmm. She came a pretty secure last place. 57.18 obviously is not a time for someone of her caliber.
She's run 52 this year.
And the last time I saw her compete, that was Lausanne.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
it was
looked
Dalila.
Like she was kind of trailing off.
Dalila did the same thing she kind of did. I think Dalila came like near the back. She came off that last hurdle. I mean, into that bend. Look at me, I can't talk. Off the bend into the straight, and she just didn't have nothing left. And that was Shamir today.
Yeah. Well,
why? Why are you?
And she's American too, so they've been running, and they always run on fast.
But you know what it is? I guess she's over here and she's committed to this before she actually felt what it felt like. So you're just gonna run. But do you really want to run 57 when you've run 52?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
Gianna Woodruff. I'd be lying if I said I knew who she was.
Do you know what? I didn't know who she was, but the other day I saw some skit on that thing where they're doing the athlete. You know where the athletes? I saw it on YouTube where the athletes are doing like interviewing themselves, and you see them interviewing themselves.
Oh, one-on-one.
The one-on-one.
World's Greatest.
The world's greatest.
You guys haven't seen this? The World's Greatest has some footage where it's each athlete talking to themselves. Mm-hmm. So they're both on camera at the same time, but it's like a good one and a bad one. So
and they're cussing each other even though it's themselves.
So Fred Curley did one.
His was funny.
His was really funny.
Norwood.
Grant Holloway did one.
Oh,
Brendan Norwood did one.
I didn't see his one.
Your girl in the Deuce.
Gabrielle
Thomas
she was
did
good.
one.
That was funny.
That one was funny too.
That was funny.
So if you get a chance, check that out. Big up the World's Greatest guys. I like them doing some different content.
Doing some different content for the athletes, about the athletes. They also give like 50% of the money or something like that. Is it 50% to the athletes of anything they make? So that's cool.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so moving along to the 200-meter men. Now, speaking of Fred Curley. Wow, man.
What a race. Do you know what? That was a good race.
Can I big up the viewers real quick? Just say what's up to them. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that was a race. I'm sorry. That, you know what? I was kind of looked at the lineup and there was like a few kind of people not there that you want to see there, but there was obviously a few, and actually the three that I would be interested in came in the top three today. Right. But it was kind of like, on paper, okay, let's see. And they just literally ran 2 days ago. Yeah. And Benerick ran, I think he ran 1968. It was a 3.2 wind.
Yeah.
It was a 3.2 wind, but he ran a really good race. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of like, okay, I wonder if it's going to be like a little bit. And I think Aaron Brown was in the race and Fred Curley was in the race. So
I think Fred ran 1977.
Yeah. So I think I was they're probably going to come here, not really do nothing.
Yeah. But came here, ran 1979, a new personal best for Fred Curley. And I could see that 400-meter strength is kind of coming into how he's running right now. Mm-hmm. That, what do they call that? The anaerobic muscle type has started to show itself.
This dude thinks he knows.
You know what I'm saying? He's been doing all that fast stuff. But you could see the 400-meter run in him today because they were kind of going back and forth who was taking the lead, and he kind of just let his strength and speed pull him through it.
But it was such an off the bend. I mean, they were kind of even, Stevens, on the bend, and then they came into the straight, and then Benerick went to go, and then Fred came back at him, and then we thought, oh, that's it, Benerick. And then Benerick came back, and then Fred came back. I was like, what is going on? This is what I'm talking about. I love this type of race. And they really pushed each other to this. And this was legal as well, legal win. So it was 1.6. So Fred ran 1979, and Benerick ran 1979. So they were basically like neck and neck. And then Aaron Brown, he's running consistently. Yeah. 2020, he ran 2018.
Yeah,
in Lausanne and 2011 in Pre. So
he's someone that if could lose a couple of tenths would be deadly because he's very consistent.
Yeah,
very consistent.
But you know when you're that consistent, eventually, man, it's got to hit. No, where you have that big drop.
I think it's a matter of time. We'll see.
But
big up Fred Curley. Yo, if we could have an athlete that could be athlete of the year that didn't have a medal, it'd be Fred Curley. Or didn't have a gold medal.
Didn't have a gold medal.
It would be Fred Curley because a lot of the people for athlete of the year have won something. You know what I'm saying? But that guy's the most undercover athlete of the year.
I just love the way that he just, and everyone talks about it, but he just bet on himself. Yeah, he was like, you know what, whatever, I don't care. But that's what I like, his personality. He's the type of guy to me that would be, you'd have a conversation with him and he'd be like, of course I could be president of the United States. What are you talking about? Yeah, but truly believe it. Like, truly. He really believes in himself. He's like, the other day, I think I said this the other day as well. He said, I'm going to be a billionaire. I was like, I ain't going to disagree with you because you've been showing us some stuff this year that we can't really, you've shown us what you say you do and no one believed you. So, yeah.
Before we go to our next event, let's just acknowledge a 1-2 comment. Seb doesn't get hype about track and field. Imagine if we had Diamond League meets in the Caribbean, it would be just like World Relays. Yeah, World Relays is pretty hyped over there. I mean,
not to watch.
Well, because of what the actual event is.
I mean, it was good when it was in the Bahamas.
The environment.
I mean, for the athletes.
In Bahamas.
Who doesn't want to go to the Bahamas? I'm going to the Bahamas. I don't care.
The fans, too. They were like...
Yeah, for the fans. But watching, I think a major I mean, it's going to be difficult for a small country, maybe. That's why they don't have a major championships. But it would be an amazing championship.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Sam has jumped 6:06, so I guess that comment that Mondo made didn't apply to him because he's jumped 6:06.
Well, no, but
maybe he didn't feel a ways.
No. What he was saying was to consistently do it. I know Sam's done that,
right,
but I think Sam was more doing it as if to say, like, you know, Sam's like the guy that everyone likes. He's for everyone. He's on everyone's side. So when he's saying that, Sam would never say something like that about anyone because he just wants to respect everyone. And so maybe it was more to do with the fact that he felt a bit shocked that he was saying that about like his competitors. I love it. You know, I like a little...
Sam's our army guy, so...
But you know what you like?
5 seconds, he could have Mondo on the ground.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. You liked Mondo's response when he cleared that 90... What was it, 96?
I did.
Yeah.
You liked it too.
I did.
I'm just saying, it was emotional.
But was he pointing to the guy from the Philippines? Who was he pointing to? And
I think he was pointing at Renault, because Renault was helping him with the wind and all that, or whatever he's helping him with.
He got hyped. That was a good...
Plus French fans, you know what I'm saying? Renault was the guy. You pointed, win over some Paris fans. I see what you're doing. About it. But yeah, moving along.
Triple jump men. Right. What I do want to talk about is not necessarily the triple jump men, because it was, to me today. But what it reminded me of is 2 days ago, we didn't get to talk about the craziest women's... Well, it's not the craziest women's triple jump, but it was a really, really good women's triple jump, right? Mm-hmm. And it just kind of got... I don't know what's going on. I think there's so many good performances. I think when Shelly-Ann ran 10.6 on everyone, I think that just overshadowed everything. But Yulimar Rojas in the women's triple jump jumped over 15.50 twice in that meet. One of them was an illegal win, so it's over the allowable limit. I think that was 15.56, but she had another one of 15.52, I think, which was legal, which she won with. Now, I'm sorry, but up until a couple of weeks ago, the world record was still 15.50. And now in the same competition, she jumped over 15.50 twice. She looks so much better. Technically, she looks so much better. And we were looking after. I was like, I need to look at that event. And then you were looking and you showed me some event that she did in, was it the World Champs in 2017? So look at the difference in the technique. And then you'll start seeing the difference in how, not only the run up, look at her.
Look at you. Take a look at what she did the other day. It's a huge difference, obviously.
Just look at the run-up. Look how much she pushes her speed through the board and how much longer her run-up is. It takes time. You have to be able to control the speed in the phases. So they've moved her run-up back a few more strides since 2017. Look how much better. But you see the step still. The step is still, she collapsed on the step jump. And I love her reaction. She's just like, this is like rubbish. Like, no, dude. But, she runs so much better, but if you look at this front view, she just total collapse. Wow. And I think this jump though was the 15.11 because she jumped 15.11 and collapsed terribly out of that and still jumped over 15 meters. I think second place was that was the 15.11 jump. She collapsed terribly out of her step into her jump. But
they highlighted her final 3 jump. If you go on the Diamond League site, over to here. So I guess the final 3 jump is the one.
Okay, well. There you go. But she's got so much more to come.
Yeah.
Definitely 16 meters in there.
I was only aware of her last year when she broke the world indoor record. Mm-hmm. Or was that the year before?
I lost a year.
That was the year before because the COVID year got erased. Oh, no, it was the same season.
I don't know.
And then the season got cut short after she did that.
Yeah.
But, she's going to, all in the game, believe she's going to run or jump 16 meters.
Yeah, she's only 25 years old. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can see Pedroso chipping away. Like everyone was speaking about her step being still quite... I mean, she tried to push it out there a little bit and collapsed out of it. But I like the fact that I see her trying to push it a little bit because in the Olympics, she had a lovely hop, but it was huge. And then she couldn't really maintain it with the step, so it was quite a small step. But anyway, yes. So, is this the last thing we're going to... Because we got about... we're looking at our little... We're trying to keep to a schedule, you know?
Yeah, we are.
We're trying to be professional. We've
got some guests on here that we're going to have a good time with.
So we've got like 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, we got about 10 more minutes to look at some of these results.
Okay.
Women's 100.
Well, obviously, Elaine.
We expected Elaine to win, but what's hilarious is that we see 1072 come up on the screen and we're like,
oh, disappointed with
1072. Like, what's happening right now, man? That is rolling.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, how many women have run in 1072 in history? There's not that many. But yeah, we're looking at like, oh. And even the commentators, like the sound of disappointment in his voice, like, oh, it's only 1072. Like,
well, not me.
Well,
and not you. We
kind of did. We got caught in there because we're expecting crazy things, right? But not me. I think it was that we're not like going, oh, like 1072 is rubbish, but we know that she just ran 1054, and then obviously 1064.
And we just saw 1060 by Shelly, and it's kind of like
she's human, and she still looked amazing. And 10.7, you can't really knock it.
Shelly's gearing up for that Diamond League final, which is pretty smart. I don't expect many people to go to Brussels because it's right before Diamond League final. Everyone's going to gear up.
Who's going to go there?
Anyone who really is going for that Diamond League championship, more than likely, is going to take that beat off.
All in the game. Natasha Morrison should be in the Jamaican 4x1 team instead of Bianca Williams.
Really? That's interesting because you have to look at legs. So as far as Natasha, she'd have to run the first leg. I don't know how comfortable she'd be. She seems pretty tall, long-limbed. As far as getting out of the blocks.
Who's in the first at the moment?
Brianna.
Ah, okay.
So Brianna Williams ran first, to Elaine, to Sharika.
To Shelly-Ann.
To Shelly. So to change that up, I mean, unless you put Shelly on first.
This is what I thought. If Shelly's on first leg.
Put Shelly first, Elaine second, Sharika third, to Morrison. Okay,
no, not to Morrison.
She's faster. I mean, once she's upright, she's faster than Brianna.
The star be on the last
leg.
Okay,
I agree. I agree.
Why doesn't Morrison go on the second leg?
Nah, it's too important of a leg.
Okay, well,
Yeah, she just doesn't fit.
She just doesn't fit. Well, she nearly fit here, but not quite because Dina Asher-Smith just broke the broom.
Making a comeback still.
She broke the broom for the clean sweep for the Jamaicans again, even though they've switched out Shelly-Ann. But Dina came third with 11.06 and Sharika Jackson second with 10.97. Yeah. But,
salvaging her season.
Elaine is like in a different class. It's just different. But to be honest, Sharika in Lausanne 2 days ago looked tired. She looked
10.9.
What, 2 days ago?
In Lausanne, yeah.
No, she got out and then didn't do nothing. And I actually thought she was going to stop halfway through, and then she carried on. She kind of got pulled through. But yeah.
It's fair disrespect.
It's good. Yeah.
I don't know. Elaine's got some energy, because she's running and running running. But she did take a long break, though. There was a part early in the season where everyone else was running and she wasn't. But I think that was because her Achilles was filling up a little bit. Maybe not.
Well, it ain't giving her no problems at the moment. That's for sure.
Yeah, she might have been saving her legs for now.
So what else have we got? Women's 100 hurdles? Oh, women's 400.
Let's talk about the men's 800 because our guest later on today, Marco Arop, is actually going to be joining us. I don't know how upset he'll be about this because he just won Lausanne and
Prefontaine.
He won Prefontaine. He's in good contention to win the Diamond League.
Yeah.
Which is a good consolation if you don't do well at the Olympics. So Rotich basically ran what he usually runs. Wycliffe Kinyamal.
Don't ask me.
I don't know. Once you touch 143, you're going to be very tough to beat. Marco's been running steady 144 mid, 144 low. So while he didn't run as fast as he has, he's still in the 144 range. So we'll ask him and talk about this race and how he feels about it and talk about the Olympics and all that stuff.
Well, I know that Arop obviously won, like you said, in Lausanne, and he ran 144.51. Right. So he's consistent.
Very.
144.74 today. That's only 2 days. So, I mean, he's 22.
Yes.
He's 22, so he's young. So we're going to see how he progresses, but we'll speak to him and ask him.
The Canadians have been very consistent. Yes, all in the game. Donovan Brazier, I believe, was injured. Hasn't spoke much about it, but didn't do well at U.S. trials. Didn't look good in Lausanne. It's been a tough season for him. Probably not how he envisioned it after he won World Championships last year.
Yeah. Oh, Joel.
2019, sorry. I keep skipping 2020.
Everyone keeps skipping 2020. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but when you're having conversations with people, are you just getting the whole year mixed up? And like, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, Joel, go on, babe.
Oh, about Brianna.
Terwain. Yeah. Did I get it right? Is that right?
Joel Terwain. I think we got that right.
Huh.
They came up.
I'm sure you can let us know.
Brianna will challenge Sha'Carri in the near future. That'll change with her.
She was really good. Yeah.
It's a very tall ask.
Yeah. She's a really talented, athlete.
Very good out the blocks. Powerful. The latter part of the race is something that she's gonna have to work on if she's gonna be battling with someone like Sha'Carri, because in the last part of the race, Sha'Carri is not joking around, yo.
Oh look, Jack just jumped in and is like, no. Okay, there you go. Nope.
All right.
Okay, so women's 400. Well, this is again, I don't know, it just felt a little, even though we had Allison.
Well, I think everyone would have loved to see Allison win.
Of course.
Because this is like her farewell tour right now.
Yeah.
So
she's definitely got to retire now. Or we
after
just
this season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's going to carry
That's how she's talking.
Yeah.
That's how she's walking. So it wouldn't be a bad time to retire. But the thing is, Eugene next year. That's what's enticing to all these Americans who want to continue or, deciphering, should I stay, should I go? Imagine her send off in Eugene.
I've been there. The Olympics in 2012. I was done. But everyone's like, you didn't do 2012. And I'm like, I guess I've got to do 20. I did not want to do 2012. Right. I was done. I was just like, I'm done. My body's falling to bits. But you know what? So carried on, just forced it. And then guess what? Didn't make it because I was mash up.
So you forced yourself in 2012 because the Olympics was in London.
Who's going to not do their major championships in the country? So we'll see. But I mean, I don't think it's a good idea.
No.
She just can't. Who's she rolling with in what event? She's not beating Miller Weibo. No one's gonna. And then that chick's gonna be back as well.
Who that?
That chick that got banned for the missed tests.
I've forgotten her name already. Viewers.
Come with it.
World champion in 2019.
Come on.
Her name.
You didn't mind
really
it.
Bad. Shani Miller Weibo.
Come on, someone's got to do it. Look, we need to
someone's going to do it.
Someone's messaging us.
Yeah, we got it.
But anyway. Why?
Sawai Nasser.
That's it. Nasser. Why you say it like that?
Yeah.
Nasser. Dude. Anyway. There we go. Thanks, Jack. Yeah. And Joel, yeah.
We draw blanks. We got so many names to talk about.
No, it's just too many names, too many stats, too many events, too many. Oh my gosh, my brain is. But anyway, yeah. So she ain't beating that chick, and she ain't beating Miller Weibo. It's just not going to happen. And then in the 200, who's she rolling? Who is she rolling? She's definitely not rolling with anyone in the 200, unless she wants to just come back for the relay. I'm just saying. Do you think that's a good idea?
I don't think that's a good idea either.
Yeah.
Too many people are rolling. There's going to be a new name. And then you got Sydney and Delilah are going to run a 4x4. Mm-hmm. Then a thing Mo.
Oh God, no!
There's 3 legs that are not going to be touched.
Sydney, Delilah.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough.
Mo, it's just ridiculous. Yeah. But we'll see. We will see.
Okay.
I don't think.
A couple of minutes till our first guest joins us.
Are they hitting us up? Let me have a look. And
Danielle
who is it?
Williams. Danielle Williams has been running really fast for a while now. Didn't even make the final at the Olympics this season. Another Jamaican, Megan Tapper, right here. We see in 3rd place, got the bronze medal. But ran 12:50 today, Danielle Williams. So obviously finding her form probably at the wrong time. But I don't know. I think personally, and we spoke about this on our broadcast, one of our past podcasts, getting the success after the championships just doesn't feel the same, man. I mean, mentally, she might gain a little something by beating Megan Tapper, who had won a medal at the games. But she usually beats Tapper, but Tapper rise to the occasion when it counted, right? Mm-hmm. So, 12:50, something to be happy about, and she's going to be in the running for that Diamond League final. Nadine Visser, 12:58 national record. slowly chipping away.
She ran well.
Yeah. So I don't know. Not too many big names in this. Big names in this 100-meter hurdles, but that's basically what we're going to be seeing for the remainder of the season until the Diamond League final. So just get used to it, ladies and gentlemen. I know you guys keep seeing us skipping the distance events, but you know what I'm saying? It's just, there's people who specialize in that, you know what I'm saying? We're power.
I know, like we could, but we'd just be doing the disrespect. We wouldn't be giving it the same.
We're leaving it to the experts.
No, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. We would be doing a disrespect to it because we wouldn't be giving it we wouldn't be talking about it in the way that like we don't know it. We like watching some of it,
yes,
but I don't know it inside out. So why am I going to talk about it?
Right. We'll get some distance guests in here at some point. I know Mo Ahmed would love to join the show one day. We can get him.
They could like teach us.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Some of the lingo, some of the things to look out for, some things that happen that we may not have seen, and some things to constantly look out for. I'm interested in the distance events. Just not well versed. Okay.
Wait. So we have some little issues. So we have two. We're supposed to have 2 guests coming on.
Okay. But
one of them, some stuff's come up, some family stuff. All right. So yeah, there might be. We'll see, maybe later or something like that. But
see what happens.
Yeah, but we have another one coming on anyway, so it's good. Would have been a good conversation if we had like both of them, but
would have been good. Well, after we go through these results, we could probably get to our hot topic a little bit earlier than we expected.
Definitely.
Which is something that, you know, viewers. And we know that you're going to love to chime in on because it's
we really want you to chime in on those.
Pretty prominent these days. So the 110 hurdles, Hansel Parchment.
Yes.
Hansel obviously
came back.
Yeah, after winning the Olympics.
Well, and after 2 days ago when he came dead last.
Yeah, he didn't.
He was like, oh shoot. Yeah, he did not run well.
He kind of seemed like he didn't want to be out there. But this is a good way to come back.
Well, when you get whooped, you go, oh, shoot. And then the mental hits in and you're like, nope. And then that's why it's mind over matter.
Yeah.
Because I think 2 days ago, he was just like, oh, he must have been. Because to come dead last? No, dude. And then that little fleeing white boy come along. Devin Allen was like, there you go. And he's like, hell no.
Devin Allen's really confident. That's one thing I've always liked about him is his composure when he competes. I think you're always going to get his best. I rarely see him flop or flake or run way worse than he should have. Whatever he has, you're going to get.
Yeah.
Very well-mannered. I like him from a competition standpoint. Daniel Roberts, American 3rd place. Ronald Levy, Jamaican champion in 4th place.
But, like, there's... You know, where's
Grant?
That's what I'm wondering.
Is he done for the season?
Must be.
Is Grant Holloway done for the season?
I think he is. But why?
Sad to hear that.
I know. I think did he do Prefontaine?
They didn't have hurdles.
Oh, they didn't have hurdles. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't have hurdles, and they had one in Lausanne.
But I don't know if I'm coming over to Europe after that. I just don't know if I'm going to do it.
Well, I'm thinking he may have enough points already for the Diamond League final. So maybe he just wanted to go home and chill out for a little while and then come back. Maybe he'll run in Brussels to warm up. I don't know. And then, jump into the Diamond League final and try and do his thing there. But
so Jack's like, isn't he already qualified for Worlds? But who?
I think he's talking about Grant. Yeah, because he won, so he has a bye.
But still, it's not about that. You want to kind of still... I think
it's important to maintain a certain level of dominance and maintain some touch with what's going on. You don't want to sit out for too long because you kind of lose your groove. And then other guys gain confidence when you're not around. So you don't want that to happen. Okay. So that was...
I mean, I wonder, what do you guys think of this meet? Did you guys think it was a good meet? We were bored? What? Were you thinking it was like worth it?
Were you guys bored?
Were you bored?
I wouldn't say I was bored.
I wasn't. You know what?
I was just like...
I think I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, these guys are tired.
I'm starting to see that.
And I'm kind of like, I'm waiting. This is the bad thing. I'm waiting because I know that we're human. They're human. I'm waiting for it when it's so rather than being like, okay, let's see what the performance is, I'm waiting for like the fall off that's been happening. 7 out of 10.
7 out
all
of 10.
In the game. 7 out of 10. Not bad. What are you looking for?
My handy dandy notebook.
Oh, where is that?
Sorry, right next to me. Okay.
Yeah.
So, from the highs and excitement of competition, we're gonna get into something that's a little bit serious. That came up last week. I don't know if you guys are very familiar with, Instagram, social media. But you guys do know who Sydney McLaughlin is.
Yeah.
And she put a video out the other day. She basically recorded something right after she set the world record at the U.S. trials.
Yeah.
And
but she put this out after the Olympics, saying that this was something she recorded after the US trials.
She put this out about a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just under, I think.
Just a little less. Let's say about 4 days ago. Of what happened right after she set the world record, and she isn't as happy as you'd expect her to be. The pressures of being who she needs to be when she has this spotlight on her has gotten to her. And it's something that Jade had highlighted in one of our podcasts, episode 4, actually called
Young and in the Spotlight.
Young and in the Spotlight. Sydney's name came up. And do you want to reiterate what you were saying?
I think that was the main... I mean, we touched on it after our last live, but we didn't really get into it because we had some cool guests. We got, sidetracked, like we said. But I wanted to talk about it a little bit more just because I think it's important. When we did the podcast, I think I was looking at her and I was seeing some of her social media stuff and I was like, something ain't right. Because she used to be so fun, so, kind of goofy, always having a laugh, doing some fun stuff on her social media, was not afraid of the camera, loved the camera, and it was cool, right? So she's now this face of track and field. Beautiful, she was basically the dream for a brand, but then started noticing last year, something just seemed off. And then, she started getting very into speaking more and more about God and how much that was meaning to her. And then you started seeing posts that she had done in the past. And, she'd always take pictures and her hair done and this and that. She stopped doing that and took some of them down.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what's going on? So then, and for me, and I've said this a few times, I'm not super religious, right? I believe in what I believe in. But I feel like usually when people are in a space where they're not necessarily so religious and then they become really religious, it's usually some sort of stress or some sort of turmoil they're going through in life. And so I started saying that from last year. And then when it came out this year, her whole vibe was just different. She just didn't seem her normal self. And I was just thinking it's a lot to do with the pressure and, I think she had one of the most crazy contracts coming with New Balance. I think she signed, I don't know, do you know exactly what it was?
No, the numbers, no one's really talking about directly. But I was told that it's the biggest contract in track and field history. So think about the numbers you've heard and just know that it's more than that. So a lot of pressure, a lot of eyes.
And the thing is, she's only 21 now.
Only 21 now on her Instagram. She's at 1 million followers.
Which, to be honest, is not... I don't know about Instagram. It's not that crazy.
It's not crazy, but...
I remember after the Olympics in London, Jessica Ennis had 1 million followers just like that. Yeah. Look at the guy in the javelin. The guy in the javelin who just won the Olympics. This dude was at 400,000 followers. And then he went to 2.3 million in 24 hours.
Yeah, numbers are getting crazy now. But I think Sydney's numbers were already very high before she even was a pro. When she was in college, she had really big numbers. So it's, having the spotlight on you from that early is tough, obviously. So we're going to show a couple clips from the video because the video is not on Instagram anymore. Why she took it off, who knows? She may have her reasons. But we're going to play a couple snippets of it just in case you guys didn't see exactly what had happened.
Grateful for the platform, and I'm grateful to be able to reach people. But I don't want it. Like, when I tell you I don't want fame, I don't want any of that, it's toxic. It genuinely physically makes me sick. When I got back on social media for not being on for 3 or 4 weeks before the trials, I started getting anxiety because you look and you're looking at what everybody else is doing, what everyone else is posting, how many followers they have, and it physically makes you sick. I don't want that. I don't want the fame. I would just like a little bit of respect.
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 You know I'm big on respect. I always say respect whenever someone shows me love and be like, yeah, respect, you know. It's important.
This video is a 10-minute video, right?
10 minutes, yeah.
Which she's now taken down, like you said. Which you commented and was like, please don't take this video down. Because you had a feeling that she was gonna take it down.
I did.
Because it had so many comments.
What's funny is I commented on the video and I said, please don't take this video down. Because I had a feeling that she would have been advised to take it down from whoever's around her. And lo and behold, the video's not there anymore. So I think she got the message across to whoever saw it. But I think it would have been a lot more powerful to keep that up there just to show that she's had times where she's been really vulnerable and she's human. You know, what people see isn't necessarily what they're getting.
Yeah.
And I think that it would have had other people be a bit more confident when they go through times like this and they feel stuff like this and being willing to express it and share it. And I think it would have been best to keep it up. She didn't. Maybe she has her reasons. I don't know because I'm not Sydney. You know what I'm saying?
Well, she got engaged, and her fiance is very much like into the whole.
Yeah, he's very religious.
He's a pastor, no?
Yeah.
He used to be an NFL player, and then he does these. I never knew who he was, but you showed me this thing where he does all these like readings on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, so
he posts, and maybe, you know, and her, to be honest, her response to the proposal was very interesting to me. She spoke very much about God, and like now basically she's just gonna let him lead, and she's gonna follow him. Yeah. She's gonna follow him, and he's in the. What did she say?
So her
she
next post, for those who don't know, was her being proposed to.
Yeah, which happened about 2 days after.
2 days after she
video.
released this.
Yeah,
as you see right here, she got proposed to, and she accepted. She expressed her gratitude, which Jade is talking about right now. And how happy she is,
but it was just
it's interesting timing. Interesting timing. But the post is gone, and this is left. And there's actually another part of the video that we wanted to take a look at.
Yeah, I think for me this was an interesting part of it, just because.
Yeah.
It was a little.
And she really broke down people.
Yeah, like, she was whoa.
It was hard to watch, but at the same time, I was like, yo, I really respect this girl, yo, for doing this.
People really think that I'm standing here today because of my followers or because of how I look.
Super deep.
It blows my mind. People who have been my teammates, who have watched me die every day at practice, believe I'm standing here today because I have followers. Because I'm light-skinned. I can't control what color my skin is. I can't control who presses the follow button. But I can control what I do on that track. And that's the thing that doesn't get the respect, and it blows my mind.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So.
Master Blaster is like.
That's a woman who just broke the world record. The day before.
Imagine. She posted this. Yeah. So she literally broke the world record the day before, but when she actually posted this, it was after the Olympics. So she's already now broke the world record again and won the Olympic gold medal, and she felt the need to post this. Right. So it's interesting to me when I think about all the reasons we all, as athletes, do this. We kill ourselves. We're, the things that we do in training, the things that we do for that Olympic gold medal, for that world record. You're like, oh my God. And it just seems like that is the only thing that matters. Like we spoke about this on one of our podcasts. You will literally, I've missed christenings, I've missed weddings because I'm training, and it's all about this Olympic dream, which is, you know, what we kill ourselves for. But yet, if this is how you're reacting after, you're still not happy, and you're still in this type of level of turmoil. You know, I remember after the 2004 Olympics, there's an athlete, and I've spoken about it before, Dame Kelly Holmes, and she won the gold medal in the 800 and the 1500 in Athens in 2004. And she wrote a book after, and in the book, it spoke about how she went back to a hotel room, or the village. She went back to the village, she went back to her room, she sat on her bed, and she was like, oh, is this it? Like, basically, nothing's changed. You know, nothing changed. She's exactly the same, the bed's exactly the same, nothing feels any different. She's got these 2 gold medals, but it's like, okay. And then she said that she went on to do some self-harming and stuff like that. And you think, and I remember that moment when I heard that and I read that, it was when I was kind of coming towards the end of my career, and it made me ask the question, why am I doing this? So if I get this medal, and if I achieve these goals that I've had since I was 8 years old, am I actually going to feel fulfilled? Because I know I was doing all this and killing myself because I was like, this is going to fulfill me. Finally, it's just going to be the most amazing thing. But I was looking at all these other people. I'm like, oh, shoot. So it kind of made me think, and it just makes you think, she's 21. She's done everything there is to do. I mean, she's got to get the world championship gold medal, but really, you've done the main things. And this is how you feel. It's real deep to me. And, you know, even in this clip here, she talks about how, you know, her family, some of her family members, her training partners, you know, it's not about her followers. The fact that she can't change the fact that she's light skinned. It's interesting that she said that, actually, because obviously that must be some part of it. The fact that her skin colour and what she looks like, there's some jealousy. Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously come up. I mean, even with some of the comments we have here, there's a few comments, but some of the reference, something that Jade had actually acknowledged with the Thing Mo in a conversation we had earlier this week. You know, some people do think she has, you know, a lot more opportunities because she's light skinned, and someone like a Thing Mo, Dalilah Muhammad, who had broken the world record before, may not have gotten the same type of attention because they're darker. But I mean, there's obviously issues from the other side as well, because then all of a sudden black people are turning on you because, well, you're getting these opportunities because, and then white people don't view you as white, you're black, so it's kind of like, well, where do I fit in, because I'm not with them. I mean, obviously, Jade, you have some I'm talking, you're the one that probably has some experience. I'm not sitting there like, oh yeah, he's. But it's because I hear what you say, and I've seen other people experience it, but I mean, you obviously.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that just on the whole a Thing Mo thing, like I don't understand, and I've said this why, and that to me is the biggest and only reason. It must be because how the color of her skin, how dark her skin is. To me, it's the most beautiful. That's what makes her stunning. That's not what makes it, but that to me, she's stunning. So I don't understand what that would have to do with anything. But we obviously know the world that we live in, right? But I'm also in a situation where I'm light skinned, and I've been on the other side where it's difficult listening to her. She's like, I can't change my skin color. She's black. The world sees this girl as black, but she fits a little bit in more with the white world because she's light skinned, right? But she can't do nothing about that. And yet, so it's funny because I've had experiences where it's like I'm seen as the world sees me as black, but to a lot of people, I'm light skinned, and that gives you an advantage, or that gives you some sort of like, you know, something that other people, and you see it, but that's not something she can't do. And obviously it affects her, but no one would think, oh, she's beautiful, you know, she's got all these endorsements, she's, you know, she's not going to be affected. Clearly that just shows you how affected she is by that, because there's nothing she can do, like she said, you know. And why should she have to do anything? But the difference is whether she's light skinned and she's performing well, or whether look at a Thing Mo there. Yeah. Whether she's dark skinned, look how beautiful that is. It shouldn't matter, but obviously that's the world we live in. Yeah. So
everyone has their cross to bear, obviously. So no one has an easier route than anyone else, obviously, and everyone's got their battles within their minds as far as what they got to deal with. I see a lot of y'all with some comments here as we wait for our guest to join us.
It might be
do you think some family members felt some type of way about her video? If I'm not mistaken, she said some of her close people weren't impressed by her success. That was a big thing for me in the video.
Yeah.
Because there's certain people that you want to enjoy that moment. And if they don't, it ruins the whole moment for you. Like, you can have millions of fans excited about what you did, but if there's a select few that are kind of like, meh, or, you know, maybe all of a sudden people were asking her for stuff more or expecting more of her. Once you're in that position, you totally change how people view you, right?
And that's the thing, though, as well. Like, if you've got like 1 million people loving you, and there's one or two of your closest that are like maybe saying some stuff or not showing you, and that's what I think she alluded to, the fact that they're not showing her the respect, or, you know, she's so shocked at their reaction to after she expected them to be happy for her and they weren't happy for her. So that will devastate. You know how it is. That's what the thing about even what she was talking about social media, how she hates it and it makes her sick to the fame. She doesn't want it. But I feel like, from what it sounded like, it's the people around her. She was also in the video talking about how she's tried to do everything she can to kind of be a good girl and to do everything right and to do everything in a way that, you know, so yeah, I think, well, I see someone.
One of our guests has
gorgeous
arrived, ladies and gentlemen.
My ear.
Big up the one named Gwen Berry.
Listen.
Hey, y'all.
I
was listening.
Wait. We want to get you on. We want to get you on.
Okay.
There she is.
Big up the one named Gwen, yo.
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
Respect for tuning in, yo.
Good.
Kind of a surprise guest. It was all over social media, but we hadn't alluded to our viewers that are watching live. But we were having some issues, ladies and gentlemen, because there's all kinds of time zones here and there. There's East Coast, there's Central, there's
the European,
there's in
the
Paris,
UK.
there's in Britain. We're in London,
Jesus.
so it's kind of like we try to figure that out. So Gwen was very earlier, but she is back.
Because I was excited. I was like, let's get on the call.
How you doing though?
I'm doing cool. You know, I'm hanging in there. there.
Yeah. You back home?
Yes. So I'm back home right now. I've been on the go since I hit the ground from Tokyo, just doing some work, moving, transitioning, all that good stuff. So, yeah, it's never ending.
Transitioning. So an actual new place, or are you going to train somewhere else now?
Yeah, actual new place. I'm going to train somewhere else. Yeah, so.
You want to talk about it? Who are you going to train with?
You
ain't supposed to say nothing yet?
You know, it's not out there yet, but you know.
Okay.
I'm in a different environment now.
Cool. Did you get to check out the track meet today?
No, so I only got to see just highlights from different races, but no, I didn't get to check out the track meet.
I love it. So have you been watching any of the other ones?
Yeah, so, you know, Twitter gives you all the information that you need.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love Twitter. That's my thing. So, yeah, I got to watch some of the other races for sure. Yeah. It's been crazy, to say the least.
I have to say this. Jade is a huge fan of you.
You know,
you and the thing Mo.
Yeah.
Once your names come up, she ain't gonna stop talking about y'all. Man.
No, listen, let me tell you something.
Leave the room.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I've got to talk about why. I'm the type of person, I love someone who has something about them. I'm not into this whole world of like fakery. I don't like fakery. I like people who stand for something, someone who are willing to put themselves out there for something they believe in, or
for sure.
Be very centered in who they are. That 19-year-old, I think Mo, I can't believe how she carries herself, how confident she is at such a young age, right? I'm at 19. I wasn't quite that composed and put together, you know? So I love it.
Yeah.
And with you, you know, anyone who knows me knows how opinionated I am.
Well, what Jade loves is the fact that you've transcended your sport. I mean, you're more than just a hammer thrower now, you know what I'm saying? You're more than just an athlete. So How have you handled that, shift in identity?
I would say it was really different and somewhat difficult only because we all know that the world, when you are female and when you're Black and when you're powerful and when you're strong and when you're open-minded, they always try to suppress you. The little subtleties to make you think that you're wrong or you're crazy or you're over the top, right? So I feel like that was the hardest part about my transition into like centering myself and knowing who I was. It was the fact that even though I believe that I know for sure who I am because of my education, because of my mentorship, because of my support, the world will still tell me that I'm wrong. And so I have to combat all these people with these crazy ass notions that think they're right when I know I'm right? Yeah. So I feel like that was the most difficult thing. But because, again, of my education, because of my mentorship, because of my support, I was able to stand firm and say, I know I'm not wrong. Like, I know who I am and I know who I'm going to be, and the world gonna either accept me or not.
So I saw that you basically, I don't know how far you went with it, but it said that you studied psychology and criminal justice.
Yeah. So I got my bachelor's degree in that.
No, I was like, no wonder. Do you know what it is? Education is really important. Sometimes, you can have the feeling, you can know what you want to say, but actually being able to articulate it in a way is super important. And I feel like you were able to do that really well.
Yeah. I feel like I've grown to learn how to do that. Everything for me, it's like, because I'm a ranter, right? And I'm a thinker. I'm an overthinker. Oh. It's good, it's good out of sport, but it's not good in sport, right? No, so when you compete you should not be an overthinker.
You should.
Just FYI, right? So that kills me in competition, but naturally I'm an overthinker. So I feel like, when I overanalyze things or I think about things, like that's just how I am. That's just how I process.
That's probably why Jay
See, this is now we haven't really spoken. We haven't really spoken before, but I'm a person that's all about like an energy, like a connection. I connect to people, and so it's funny you're saying this because this was my issue. Like everyone's always like, you're overthinker, but it doesn't serve me well in certain situations, but it serves me very well in other situations.
Yeah,
so that raises the question: how do you balance that with competing?
I feel like just because I kind of started on this journey like literally 2 years ago. It's been kind of tough only because like any sport under the Olympic umbrella, we don't get that much support anyway, financially for sure. So it's like you do have to be selfish, you do have to be disciplined, like you only have time for certain things. So that's been a struggle, just maintaining like the balance and the discipline, making sure I'm training, making sure I'm not so emotionally drained so that I can, have a good training session or a good training day. Like that's kind of been the hardest thing because honestly, everything about this world drains me. Like I'm an empath. And so when I see things or I experience things, like I'm immediately drained because again, I go into overthought. Like I just be like, I noticed that and I noticed that. And I know how that Black woman can't do that, but that white woman can't do that. So it's so draining. Yeah, it's emotionally draining. So that's kind of been the hardest thing, is just balancing training with, my activism. But I feel like I'm doing a good job. I made it to the Olympic final.
Dude,
you
are.
So,
and I'm telling you, right? We've spoken about this. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not going to take away from the Olympic experience because it has a major part of this. You know what I can't stand? Hearing myself in the ear. It throws me up. I got to take this out. Hold on. Yeah. Right, that's better. Like the Olympics has a major part in this world, and I think it has. We went to 2 Olympics. It was a major part of our lives, but on the grand scheme of things, on the bigger picture, in terms of the world, it's really not. I learned so much from it, but it's really not. And so, although what you're saying is true, what you're doing off the track for me, I am like freaking like this girl. And the funny thing is, you're saying you're an empath. Your birthday is like the 29th of June.
Yeah.
right? And that's like Cancerian, very, I don't know if you're into all of this stuff.
Are you big into that?
A little bit.
You're very, like, it's very, like, and it's one of those things, anyway, my nephew's birthday's on the same day as yours, so, and he's like the most beautiful child. Like, he's just so loving, he's so caring about people. Yes. He really, you know, he's just so, but yeah, what you're doing, I love. You can obviously hear that. And it's not just the activism, it's not just sticking up for people, not just trying to fight for justice, and it's the way that you actually went about it in a very important year in an athlete's, and the backlash that you got and how you were able to just, I was reading your tweets and I'm like, I love her because I'm done. I couldn't cope. I wouldn't be able to cope with that amount of backlash. But for you to stay grounded in who you are.
Yeah.
What was your favorite tweet of hers again? Your favorite tweet of hers?
People are weird, man.
Man, people are weird.
That's one of my favorite tweets of all time of anyone because I really connect to it.
Humans are weird. Humans are so weird, bro. Like, we hate each other so much.
Why?
It's the weirdest thing. Like, why are we the only creatures that, like, are so combative to the point where, like, we literally try to, like, destroy people with words and notions and policies and systems? It's just like, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's getting worse.
Like, it is getting worse because of social media, for sure. It's scary.
And what I didn't understand is how you're doing something for your people. You're doing something loving. No one ain't saying, you're shit, you white people over there, I hate the flag. They're saying, like, it doesn't represent who I am and what I see for my people, and I love my people. Sure. We're not getting what we deserve. That's it. It's not equal.
That's it. It's a lie.
I don't understand how that says, oh, I hate you, white person, and I hate America and the flag.
But it's just showing how abrupt they want to be with, you know, putting a halt to people's pride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't want to see no kind of pride. Just nip it in the bud right away. That's hate. Y'all hate us.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's a distraction to take away from the true issues. So people put emphasis on a flag or a song, but they don't put emphasis on poverty or equity or equality or reparations. Like, you see what I'm saying? So they try to distract from the core of the problem. And the core of the problem is, for as long as we can all remember, people been treating Black people like shit. That's it. And it's unnecessary. That's it. That's the core of the problem. Let's not make this about a song or a flag.
No. But you know that everything is fear-based, is like loss of something to someone. So people just start becoming so, like, protective of their stuff.
Right.
This is like, okay, I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose this amount of power. I don't want to lose this place in society because this group of people are going to overthrow us. Or it's like, chill out. We're all the same. Chill out. You listen.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
But that's what happens when you love power so much. Mm-hmm. When you love power and money so much, you begin to think like that. So you think that the people who really just need help are trying to overtake you or overthrow you or, you know, take you out of your position. And it's like, bro, you got that position because you've been capitalizing off people like us. So what are you talking about?
Basically. I've got this great quote from you. I want to read it and then I want to hear what you got to say from the horse's mouth, you know. It says, it's easy for the individuals to say, leave personal issues out of sport. That luxury is afforded to those who will never have racial injustices against them affect their day. I love that because it's like, well, leave it out of politics, doesn't belong in sport, or, you know, whatever it is, or their story. And they use the story when it matters to them or when they can use it, you know. I love that quote.
Yeah, I said that quote because I think of all the Black athletes who compete under the American flag, right? Or all the Black athletes who have to deal with being the greatest athletes in the world, but they still get called a racial slur on the street when they walking past somebody that's, you know, that doesn't care about them or who doesn't identify with them. It feels like they can just disrespect them. So these athletes coming into sports, you know, LeBron James, right? For instance, he is one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but still someone has the balls to write nigger on his home in LA, right?
Crazy.
So these issues are not afforded to those who don't have to deal with it. You've never seen a white player, NFL, NBA, track and field, deal with such hate brought to them because of the color of their skin or because of what have you, right? Even with like me and Racing Bowden. So me and Racing Bowden both protested at the Pan American Games. You do not see hate come his way like you see hate come my way.
No.
And we're both in Olympic sports, right? So that's why I said that white people, it's a privilege. They're a privilege to not have to deal with life outside of being an athlete. A black athlete can win an Olympic gold 10 times over and still come to America and somebody is spit in their face because they black. Like, let's be real. So
I think
that's how I got that.
I think that's, you know, why it's, I think this whole year, especially last year with the pandemic, with the whole, you know, with what happened with when George Floyd was murdered, and all the whole world just started talking about it. It's now became a thing where now people want to talk about it, and now, you know, like, oh, well, now we have to let's Black Lives Matter, and let's, you know, and it was good because it got people talking. It became aware, but it's uncomfortable for a lot of white people, I think, and I think it was uncomfortable in a way, just trying to find that balance. But the conversation needs to be started. And obviously it's not always going to go smooth and dandy, but the conversation needs to be started. And that's one of the things, you know, when I think one of our second podcast, I was like, because it was all the whole to do with the IOC, the IOC and the protests, and I was super, you know, I needed to do that, what I was going off, and a lot of it was to do with you and your story, and that's where I really was like, this chick is like the shit. I don't, like, who is, like, F everyone, and anyone who's got anything to say, like, literally, no one can say nothing to me, innit, about, no one, nobody.
So that's what I wanted to ask you about, because the way we saw it was, you know, with the way things were brewing and how everyone was so upset and the movements you were making and a lot of big athletes were making, that at the games, especially in track and field, I mean, the majority of the prominent athletes are black within the biggest sport at the games, which is track and field. So we were like, yo, track and field is going to be the melting pot for all these protests. It's definitely going to happen here when people get on the podium, and there really was nothing. There was no protests at all.
There
so
was one.
With all the, well, that was in gymnastics though.
No, Raven.
Raven. Okay, yeah. There was Raven. Yeah.
But hers was not a protest. It was a statement.
It was a statement.
Yes, it was a statement. It was definitely a statement.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is exactly what we were talking about.
We never protest. We speak.
Statement.
Yes, exactly. We speak. There you go.
Exactly. And for that statement, we're actually waiting to hear what the repercussions are. Whatever. Anyways, that's another issue.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about the fact that no one really, you know, you put a lot of work in. There was a lot of statements made. There was a lot behind this. I know if we were to get to talk to John Carlos, he'd have a lot to say about that because, you know, but what do you think about that?
I have mixed feelings, right? I believe that everybody should act when they are ready, when they're willing, when they're comfortable, because a lot of people have a lot to lose and a lot of people have mouths to feed. So in that regard, I feel like the athletes who were ready to speak out, like Raven, I don't know if you noticed, but some athletes drew a circle with the X on the inside, just like Raven Saunders. We all kind of did that as a form of, just a statement. But yeah, not seeing more people be open about speaking up about certain issues that they want to, advocate for. It was a little disheartening only because this was a great opportunity to do that for our sport and for the world. And I feel like, if I had made that podium, y'all know what.
We were like, oh my gosh, please.
I wanted to make that podium so bad. But yeah, it was a little bit disappointing, just a little bit.
Of course.
But like I said, people have to do what they're comfortable doing, right? For their mental health, for their financial stability. So I can't say that everyone should have did something. But I can say that as long as athletes under the Olympic umbrella are quiet, things will never get better for us. We will never get paid. We will never be properly compensated. We will never be heard. We will never be understood.
Yeah.
And just basically taken, like, and treated like a commodity. Like they're gonna do what they want with us, and then we're gonna keep letting it happen. Yeah. One of the things I wanted to ask, because someone actually asked me this, a journalist asked me around the Olympics, like, what would I have done? So what I wanted to ask you is, do you feel like the main and only way would be to make a statement on the podium because that was the biggest thing, or do you feel like that could also be done in the media, in your interviews, you know, in that type of, or do you feel like it would have needed to be more on the podium?
I feel like it needs to be done everywhere and anywhere. That was one thing that one of my close, my Baba, the one who taught me in Freedom School. That's one thing that we discussed after I came back from Tokyo. You know, the fact that I do it in interviews, in the field of play, you know, when I'm introduced, when I'm not on the stage, when I'm on the stage, like, it's something that has to be done constantly and continuously all the time for people to get it. And then the podium, because it is the highest, most recognizable, most visible area in the field of play, that's where you should do it for sure.
I was sitting
that moment.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, like, would I? Because you know, listen. Obviously you can hear I super support everything you're saying, why you're doing it. I'm super outspoken about these things, but I was like, a journalist asked me, would I have done it on the podium? Now, if I think about me personally, how I am as a person, like, just without words, statement is not my thing. Mine is all about speak. I love to speak, and I want to show my passion through the words. In like, I'm not one of those people that really wants to walk into, I don't want like eyes on me, like walk into a room and then everyone looks. I don't want to be the center of attention in that way. Like, I would rather do it with my words. I love to speak. So I'm like, would I have got on the and I put myself in that position, and I just felt very like, not because of any other reason, but just the natural type of person I am. But I was like, but I would absolutely, in every single interview, in every single, you know, whether it's radio, TV, newspaper, whatever, I'm talking about this all day long. There's no chance I'm not. But I was like, I wonder if I would have overcome that and done it on the podium, you know?
How do you break through that?
That's a lot of athletes.
Yeah,
I feel like, go ahead.
No, I was just asking how you break through that type of, you know, the issue of just how it may make you look or feel, or how people may view you, and all that extra stuff that comes with it, because you deal with a lot because you stand up for a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like basically I think a lot of athletes do what Jay was talking about. Like, they do it, they advocate, but they don't feel like they have to do it on the podium. I think, you know, that's a lot of what we've seen at the Olympic Games. You know, once people got on that podium, it was different, but they do advocate, you know, through interviews, through commercials, what have you. So for me, because I was mentored by Dr. John Carlos, you know, I was mentored by my Baba. I was mentored by my coach and friends. So it's just like, for me, I understand what the podium does. I understand how high the podium sits you. It's the precedent. It's if you have to be seen and you need to make a statement,
it's true.
You're gonna go to the highest platform to make that statement.
Yeah.
Everybody is going to seek for the highest platform to yell, to scream, to say, listen, y'all, this has to stop. This has to change. You're not gonna say nothing. You're not gonna speak up for nobody in the bathroom. You're not gonna speak up for nobody in the room. You're going to seek the highest platform, i.e., why.
They're messing with us.
They're messing with us. That's deep.
I know.
It's deep. I don't know. Hopefully,
this response is important. I think
it is.
She's having some internet issues.
Well, it's very true, because I feel like what she's saying is extremely true. Obviously, we all know that image of like the fist on that in the, was it 1968?
1968, yeah.
That was one of the most powerful sporting images. Yeah. So it's very true. I think though it's about education. It's about, like she said mentors, and I think that's really important. If you're going to go and do it, you have to be authentic in feeling confident in what you're doing outside of yourself, you know. So, but well, hopefully
we'll get Gwen back momentarily. Deep stuff, yeah. It's
super deep, and I know a lot of people ain't into this, but you know, this is me all day, every day. So, like, all day. I love all the lighter-hearted shit. I like all of that, but to me, that's not where change happens, and that's not how we become the best of who we are, you know. And, you know, before there's change, usually there's like some, it's like, you know, have you ever had a hamstring injury? And then you have the injury, and then when it builds itself back, the scar tissue, have you ever had to get the scar tissue broken down?
Yeah, it hurts.
Everyone who's had an injury and had to have scar tissue broken down, they know that to get it realigned and to get things moving in the right way, to get the muscle moving in the right way, you got to break down that scar tissue, and it ain't pretty. It's extremely painful. It's like re-injuring it before it can then realign again. So, yeah, I'm going a bit deep, but, you know, that's how it goes. But
the funny thing is, most athletes, after they're done, realize the importance of stuff like this. She's ahead of her time.
Yeah.
Obviously, with her consciousness as far as how important this stuff is.
Yeah.
You know, when we were in it, we obviously may not have thought of it with such wisdom.
No, definitely not.
Because we see the bigger picture, but I think we're about to get Gwen back in a second. But oh, there you go.
Hey y'all.
Hello.
Sorry.
That's all right.
And you were in the middle of an amazing response.
Amazing.
I know.
You were flowing. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, anytime you want to make a statement, you need to do it at the highest level,
absolutely,
at the right time. And I feel like the podium is a perfect opportunity.
And you know what? You were talking about your mentors, but that, I think, gives that support and that reassurance of knowing how you're going to do it, being authentic in doing it. So when you stand up there, there's a level of centeredness and groundedness that you know exactly why you're doing it. So for me, I feel like, kind of slightly moving on, I feel like you would be the most amazing mentor to athletes and to young people. Like, amazing. Like, to give them that. So I kind of, not that it's anywhere close, but do you think about what you would do when you retire from track and field and what you'd want to do?
Yes, so that is one reason why I made the transition, because I am working on basically starting my business to where I am able to be a mentor, consult, speak with, support athletes.
See, and I didn't know this.
People that are not athletes. Yeah.
You didn't tell us this. I didn't know this.
You thought I was exaggerating.
I didn't know this.
I was exaggerating when I said she's on you, right? Like, she's on you. She's on you, yo.
It's just, look, there's some people, you know, if I think about like people in different, you know, that have made change in the world it doesn't always, they might be the one that stands out on their own and no one else is really following at the beginning, but in a later time when everyone's caught up, like you said, it's that athlete, that person that actually really, you know, is someone in history that people go, oh, that's where it kind of started, you know? And I feel like, obviously, with John Carlos and that in 1968, they did it, and now it's come back round again. And, you know, regardless of whatever's happening, you know, and like you said, man, like, to get on that podium at the Olympics and do what you needed to do, you're like, but honestly, what you went through leading up to that Olympics, and you're talking about you're emotional and like the draining, like, dude, I would never be able to, like, I'm done, right? I would be done. I don't even get into it on Twitter because I like to, like I said, because I can't deal with the nasty aggressive people, because I'll go off. I'm either going to go crazy or I'm going to go off on you. Like, I can't, you held yourself together. So, but I know that must have been super draining and emotional. It must have.
Oh my gosh, it was so draining. And it was only because too, like, I was already, you know, going back and forth with the USOPC, the IOC, right? Jesus. And so then to have to deal with, you know, multiple deaths of close people to me, especially my agent who died right before the Olympic trials. Trials. Yes. And then having the media set me up on the podium.
No, don't
even. We spoke about that.
Dude.
Oh my gosh, y'all. I was drained. I was fuming. I was fuming at the Olympic trials. I could not believe
they did that to you. Like, they did that to you. Like, not the IOC, who you would understand are going to try and set you up, but like, why? Because it was supposed to be like 5 minutes later after you did your thing, right? They were supposed to play it, but they moved it.
After or before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As soon as we got on that podium, baby, whoever was in that car room pressed that button, and I know they got paid.
And then you know what made me so mad about, you know it, right? You know it. You know what made me so mad? Do you know what made me so mad? Is that you are a human being, and this is a surprise, right? So you're like, hold up. And so when you're like, hold up, and you're on the podium, you're being human. You know that there's people watching, but you're like, hold up. And then now that's the picture that everyone's like, oh, she's disrespectful. Like, dude, you don't know the whole. And then
Let me tell y'all how hard they set me up. See, people don't understand, right? So I'm the villain, right? But people don't even care to know how I felt, right? So I guess I'm just only one black woman. So
yeah, you don't matter. Yeah.
Right? I don't matter. So the media, for broadcasting, they do their research. They know the athletes. They know the stories that they want to portray, talk about, what have you. So once I made the team, oh baby, they was ready. They were ready. They never played the national anthem for any other event while they were on the podium. They played the national anthem only before the first track event. Every day before the first running event, right? So as soon as I made the team, the lady in the car room, she said, we will go out you guys will stand on the podium and we will introduce you to the crowd either before the playing of the national anthem or after the playing of the national anthem. Mind you, I'm watching the track meet, so I already know how it goes. I've been to plenty of Olympic trials, plenty of world championship trials, US trials, so I know how this goes, right? And why would they play the national anthem while athletes are on the podium? We're all Americans.
This is what I was saying.
We need to hear the national anthem. Okay. We're all Americans, right? So we go out there, right? And baby, when I tell you they did their homework on me, they knew how I would respond. Getty Sports, okay, so it was a left and a right? So the crowd was to the left of us and no one was to the right. They only let people sit to the left of us, right? So that's where the athletes would face to say hi to the crowd. Baby, Getty Images had a cameraman to the right of us. If you look at the pictures that were taken of me, because I faced to the right to like avoid people noticing me in the crowd. I just faced to the right. Baby, Getty had some people right there waiting for me.
There were some perfect photos.
It was no one on that side. I didn't even see anybody on that side. So how did they get those pictures?
Let me ask you a question on a real, right? I want to ask you this, right? Because ZB, Edson knows me, people know me. I see this, it got to me so bad because I blatantly see straight away when I saw this, what was happening. I had to look, I was like, no, let me just see if they play the national anthem because I've never seen this before. I don't know that anyone, so everyone else wants to jump on the fact that you deliberately disrespected, like you, I was like, no, let me look it up. Let me ask you a question though. You're a human, so it's all good. And what you did is a human reaction. But now, in hindsight, do you wish you would have played it differently? Like if you would have kind of had a little bit of an inkling or a heads up they were going to do that you would have responded differently? Not to give these, let me not even start swearing on this live right now, but not to give these mofos what they got from that. I feel like everything happens for a reason, but I'm just wondering from your perspective,
For sure. I don't know. If I had for me and for my, I work with a great team. So we're always strategic. We're always on one accord. Like I said, I'm constantly mentored, right? Because I'm a professional at the end of the day. So I feel like if I had known that they were going to play the national anthem, for sure, I would have reacted differently. Yeah, I would have been prepared. And I was not prepared for that.
And I think what it is, if you made the conscious choice that you were going to do whatever you decided to do on there, that's totally different. But they got you when you're not looking, and then got the reaction, and that's the shit that's just there. It's so annoying.
Exactly. It's like they punched me from behind. Right. They punched me from behind.
You know what?
Right? But I'm the victim, right? I'm getting hit from behind, but I'm the evil person.
You're the bad guy. You're the one that hates America.
Right. It's just like, okay, America, but if y'all would have did y'all research and if y'all really liked the sport, y'all would have honestly been watching it before all of this. And why are y'all paying attention to me anyway? It's just we just on the podium chilling. Yeah. Like, why y'all paying attention to me?
Exactly. But
because
you know
I
what?
don't want to salute.
But you know what?
I'm hot.
Do you know what?
I was hot.
Listen. Ow.
I was hot.
Oh.
I want to get down.
And you know what? Exactly. But what I don't understand is that, like, this is what's going on with the whole social media and all of this stuff. Like, people just are talking. And even we've been speaking about this with the whole, which we're not going to get into because everyone's going to be like, oh, not again. But the whole Sha'Carri thing is like, people just want to just get people. It's like the weirdest thing. Like, she's young. But the way that social media just attacks and want to just find the one and just really, and I know she's, we know she's got growing to do. She's going to learn. But at the same time, why is there this, like you spoke about earlier, this need for us to attack each other? This is the craziest thing to me.
Right.
You're just trying to do something, from your heart that's caring, that's loving. It's out of love, and yet it's being seen in some different way. Do you know what?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I respect you. I got you. It probably doesn't matter. It's one person, but let me tell you, there was plenty of people out there that got you, and that you helped, and you showed so many people so much by the way you carried yourself, and also the crazy backlash that you got, the way you carried yourself after. So that's the biggest respect, and a big up for that.
Yeah.
Really.
Thank you.
Really.
Yeah, I'm seeing a pattern forming. Strong Black women that don't give a shit. Like you'll be put in a situation where,
or that they do give a shit, but they ain't gonna conform.
Yeah, but they'll put you in a position where they'll invoke a reaction that's gonna snowball on social media, snowball on media, and then eventually get people hating you for what you're doing without the context. You know what I'm saying? And then it changes the whole narrative of what's happening, or what you're trying to do, what you're trying to represent, who you are. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know who you are, but they think they do.
They don't even know me. They have no idea. Like, if you were to look at anybody that has hate thrown my way, you would really think that I'm just this person who thinks I'm too good for this world, right? It's just like, bro, first of all, I'm the coolest person in the world. I'm the most understanding. I'm the most open-minded, most empathetic. Like, literally, I literally can understand everything, and I can even understand why people hate me.
Mm-hmm.
But ignorance is what America was founded upon, and it's just then that's gonna take a long time to change. It's gonna take a long time to change.
Yeah. It's so funny. You got someone, Patrick Smith, just is like on the message. You guys are pandering hard to Sha'Carri. Shake my head. I guess you are working hard for the interview.
Yeah, he's one of the clowns we're talking about, yo.
This is one of the.
They gotta make sure, yo. You can't say nothing good about her. Can't say nothing good about you. Yo. This is
perfect
timing
really,
though, Patrick. We need to hear from one of you clowns, yo. So respect for that, yo. Respect for that.
This is where. Look. Anyway. I just thought I'd say that just because this is the type of stuff you get. Like, whatever. People are not going to understand everyone, and that's okay. And people are not going to like everyone, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, what each of us choose to do, as long as it is not hurting physically another person, what is your problem? Just keep it moving. If you don't like it, look the other way. Just don't worry about it. If you're not hurting not one person, but people are taking it, and Sha'Carri as well. They're taking it like super personally, not looking past it. But if you want to say that we're pandering and we're whatever. But anyway, I just want to move on. I want to know slightly now more into like the world of track and field, because I want to know what you think. Like, this has been the craziest year. I'm thinking about the year, like everything that's gone on, from the crazy performances that we've been seeing to like new technology and super shoes to like stupid rules like the final three. I want to know what you think about like dumb rules. Don't get me started on that. To people and athletes like you, fighting for change. This has been, to me, like a groundbreaking year of all sorts of everything, What's your take on the year and like this whole like year of pandemic and everything else?
I think it's the start of a new renaissance. For sure. Mm-hmm. Like everything changing, everything. It's just a new evolution. And I feel like the athletes who are in the game, the athletes who are advocating, the athletes who are competing are phenomenal, because we are really shifting things. Like truly, we are really shifting things, and we're creating our own rules, our own boundaries. And I feel like it's because we are speaking out.
Yeah.
I feel like that is the biggest thing, besides performing, besides, I think with the advancement of the technology with the shoes, I think it's because athletes have talked about it. Like, maybe we should do this, or, I don't think it just came without nothing.
So you think it's good? Do you like the whole super shoe stuff?
Hey, if you run fast, you can't hate on this.
Yeah.
Like, if I was an athlete and I was blasting out them blocks, I would want a good shoe to help me as well. Okay. Shout out to Puma.
Yeah.
My new shoe sponsor.
I know. I said, oh my God.
That's new?
What?
Oh, respect for that, yo.
Listen, you got they was it after the US trials? Was it after the US trials, or was it?
It was before.
Just before. But I remember you were saying that you didn't have a sponsor, and I know there was the whole thing after, obviously, the Pan Am Games and everything with the whole 12-month ban that whoever gave you these idiots. But anyway, they gave you that. And then obviously it was really difficult for you to find a sponsor and stuff. And then you were talking about that. And then I saw that Puma came up. I was like, respect to Puma.
Shout out to Puma. Respect, first camera thrower and I don't know how long,
So
girl.
Good. So good.
But I'm glad for this evolution. I think we are starting to see a different world of sports in general, and it comes with more, I think, just more iconic type of incentives, right? So I think with all the athletes who are speaking out, all the athletes who are advocating and still competing and still performing at the highest levels, it doesn't get any better than that. Because back in the day, you wouldn't see, Shelly-Ann or Allison Felix competing at their highest level, but saying, I'm a mother, I just had a baby, y'all gonna respect me because I'm still at the top of my game.
I love it.
Still pay me for what I'm worth.
Hell yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
I love it.
It's just so crazy. Things are just so changing. And we were talking with David Oliver and Dwight Phillips 2 days ago after Lausanne, and we were talking about how, like, especially women's track and field this year is like literally on fire. This one, it is so much fun. I'm like, I love what I'm seeing. I love the personalities. I love the fact that they're backing up with the performances. I love the fact that they don't care. They're going to speak. They've got, it's just crazy to me. I love how it's kind of like overshadowing a lot of the male performances because we've got all of the personalities as well,
So I feel like it's important for the kids. It's important for the kids to hear and see these people and especially these women speak up and perform.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So as far as you, like, from a track standpoint, I didn't know until I was looking up some of your accomplishments that you have the world record in the weight throw. So how are you trying to transfer that into success or more success in the hammer? You're Pan American champion, but I'm sure you want more than that, and I'm sure that
77-78 PB.
That sounds far, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? As far as people that don't really know the sport, they're always looking at the podium, right? So I see this happening with you indoors, and I'm expecting, well, shoot, she obviously got something that's not transferring over. So what is it that you feel like you need to work on as far as getting to where you need to be in the hammer?
I feel like the biggest thing that I need to work on is, one, my mental, just not overthinking, trying to go against my natural self in competition and not letting the desire to win get in my way, but focus on the execution and the process, and then the winner will take care of itself. I think besides being totally exhausted in Tokyo, that's one thing that I did. I just overthought because I wanted it so badly. And then, I tensed up, I froze up. Like, I just didn't capitalize off the opportunities. So that's the biggest thing for me. I feel like I've been throwing hammer for a very long time. So the repetition, my body knows. The feeling, my body knows. It's just my mindset. You
just got to get out of your own way. That's it. Yeah, that mental, like, it's that, and it's like that not sweating the small stuff types, because you'll overthink. And also, as you know, right, I'm obviously field events, I think it's every event, but when the minute you have the thought, the performance already gone. So now you're getting in the way, you're stopping like what you're supposed to naturally do. And then also with that, it takes the fun out of it, When you're thinking too much, you're taking the fun out of it. And actually, like you said, you've been doing it a long time, and you know exactly what to do physically. So
yeah. And like, for me, because I was raised in team sports and I love team sports, being an overthinker in team wasn't a bad thing, because you kind of had to, in order to like be on one accord with everybody else. But in track and field, it's totally different. So yeah, number one for sure, 95% of the things that I will be working on this year, getting ready for Worlds, is my thought process. Learning how to relax, learning how to focus on one thing, learning how to just execute and trust myself. Because when I went my own way, I can't be beaten. And that's why I have the world record. That day, I just threw. I didn't think about nothing else. I capitalized. I got out my way. So that's the biggest thing I'm focusing on. And that's because I can want it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if I think, then it's a wrap.
And you know what? Obviously, the World Championships next year, home soil. So
home soil. Yeah.
Got to do your thing there.
Yeah, it's a big one for the Americans, of course. So is Paris going to be the final Olympics? Or I know you don't like to think ahead to that, but we were talking about
no
what you're going to do
thinking,
afterwards.
just doing. No,
I'm just saying, like, maybe you'll want to go longer. Maybe, saying, where's your head as far as that's concerned?
Activist athlete, that's going to be way more important than a lot of things in the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I just
you're ahead of your years. You're ahead of your years, because with the way we were talking on our podcast about what's going on right now, it's because we're done. We're wiser now. But as athletes, we may not have thought of the big picture. Mm-mm. You know what I'm saying? So you're definitely ahead of your time as far as that's concerned. So we rate you for that. Yeah. We respect you for that.
Absolutely.
Big that up every single day.
Thank you.
I mean, is there anything else you want to let us know before you get up out of here? You gave us a lot of good time today, which we respect.
So good.
I mean, I appreciate y'all. I've watched y'all. I've listened to y'all, so I love y'all.
No,
thank you for supporting me for sure.
Y'all
for supporting me, and thank y'all for being authentic.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, big up to one named Gwen Berry.
Yes. Thanks for joining us. It was great. Finally, some fire female energy on here. We've had all guys so far on the guests. So I'm like, dude, who can I get? Who can I get? We were supposed to have Bianca Knight. Come on. And I love the stuff that she does. She's just doing so much with this, with the sport. And, she's giving back. She's got the BK, the Bianca Knight Foundation. She's got BK Track Stars. We wanted to talk about all these things. She's doing so much for the sport on the other side. And I love it. Her energy is amazing as well. I love when I listen to and I see what she does with her tweets. She's just got a great vibe, great energy. So she was supposed to be on. Maybe we'll get her on again. But it's been amazing just giving you all of our attention and contributing. So thank you very much.
You gave one of the things on Jade's bucket list. You just crossed it off now. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're talking to Gwen Berry.
Yeah.
Make sure
I'm sure we'll do it again. We want to do it again at some point.
Yes.
We would love it.
Absolutely, Gwen.
All right,
real,
thank you.
I respect you. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Cool.
Have a good one.
You too.
Right.
Bye.
So yeah, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the one, the only, the infamous.
Very cathartic for me.
Yeah, no.
It's been building, I've just been like,
one of them.
And,
all you need is
it's probably a bit too deep for a lot of people, but you know what? I don't give a fuck, honestly. Sorry for the language, but I feel good,
Yo, we said Sha'Carri's name one time, yo.
I know, we just said it just as
going on, yo. It's like,
you know what? I don't care what.
That's the issue, the triggering you. You say your name
Trigger.
one time.
Trigger, it's like, pow!
Anger.
Yeah.
Anger, but
I know.
Whatever.
It's like we went and punched them in the face.
It's like,
dude,
it's not
chill
that serious,
out. Chill.
Justin McLennan. Big up Justin for the tune in. I mean, he's a huge Jamaica fan, so he wants to talk about Sharika and her feats. And we were talking about the results today in the 100 meters. You missed that. But we're going to have to kill some time before we get our next guest.
Well, why don't you message him so we can hit us up a bit earlier?
Yeah, I can holler at him now, but we can go through some of these comments because we were missing a lot of the comments earlier today.
Wow.
Let me see if we can get Marco Arop is going to be our next guest.
Yeah. I don't even know how to move this comment thing, but we were getting some good comments. So apparently liking... Oh, here we go. This is one of the...
That's one of them.
One of those ones. One of those. We're not even going to go there. Let's not talk about Sha'Carri. Because that name... that name does get people going. What else were we going to talk about? Oh, we were going to go to the chats. We wanted, like you just said. But it seems like a lot of the reactions are to the whole Sha'Carri, so we're not going to go there.
No, we're not.
No.
But
you know what makes me laugh? Like, when we were talking to Gwen and we were going in, no one was really commenting.
No one had nothing to say
no
about
one has nothing to say about that.
Like
this is what I'm saying. That's what it's about. But no one wants to say nothing about that. But then they tell us that we're all about the drama. Like, what are you talking about? I mentioned that name in the middle of just talking about how...
To prove another point.
And it was like just in passing, and yet that's what everyone... You know how it goes. That's how it goes. But...
Okay. So... Justin, you mentioned earlier Sharika. We were talking about her earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
People are seeming to be tired right now. What are your thoughts? I don't know if you watched this on today. Shelly pulled out because she wanted to rest. Do you think that post-Olympics right now, what we're seeing in some of these results, is, you know, do you feel like it's kind of on a down right now? Do you feel like people are kind of losing interest? We're track pundits, so I'm not going to lose interest in whatever's going on. I'll still watch, even if I'm watching and saying it's boring.
I don't lose interest, but I feel like I get as tired as the athletes. You know, one thing I'm going to say, when I was competing, I never really took into consideration like what all the journalists and all the people on the other side do, and how much, you know, emotion they have invested in it, and how much time and energy whether it's, you know, good stuff, bad stuff, whatever. I didn't really get it, but like trying to do stuff this year, just setting up our thing, talking about it because we love it, and it's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of emotion. You get invested, you get caught up in stuff, and I feel like I never really thought about it as an athlete. I didn't really care about what people were doing on the other side, the journalists and stuff.
Well,
I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie, it's exhausting. Yeah. But you always call me the biggest, smallest track fan.
Well, it's a different time now because media and social media, everything's so prominent now that as soon as someone brings something up, you know, anything can become news, especially if it has nothing to do with what's going on the track.
Do you know what I was going to say? I had this, I did a screenshot of this thing that I saw from Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price's Instagram. And I thought it was really interesting because we were talking about this with David Oliver and Dwight Phillips the other day about like rivalries and like liking your competitors. And Dwight's like, hell no, too many athletes like each other nowadays. But then David Oliver was talking about the fact that he actually kind of got on with his rivals, his competitors. He didn't have a problem. I mean, you know, but he seems like he just is very like, let me just run and win. That's it. He can talk to whoever. But Dwight's kind of like coming from like how I used to feel like, I don't like you. I'm trying to beat you. We're like, why do I like you? Now I'm like, oh, I was saying to you the other day, I think about like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I wonder what so-and-so's doing or so-and-so. Cause you know, we grew up together. But anyway, so Shelly-Ann posts this picture with her and Talu. So lots of pictures of her cuddling, like hugging, embracing, Talu running next to each other, Talu kissing her son when I think it was at the World Championship 2019 and she's holding her son, them on the podium together, and she put, as a new crop of athletes enter the arena, I'm grateful to be able to compete with familiar faces. We've both been doing this a long time, and through it all, she has brought not only her competitiveness but also her compassion, and she's put hashtag Friendship Friday appreciation post Talu.
I didn't even know they were that close.
I did not know that these girls were like, these women I should say, were like that close. You would never think it. I was like Talu always looks like she just wants to take them out.
It's just
she's like these Jamaicans, man. I'm like from the Caribbean, but I need to like, well, where's she from? Ivory Coast. She's from Africa.
Coast, yeah. How do y'all feel about athletes being so friendly these days? Personally, I mean, maybe we just think too old, because to us it doesn't make sense to be that friendly with your competitors. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like that when we were competing. But is it just like a new age right now? It must be. Because even today on the meet, who did we see? I think it was but actually it was funny, after the women's discus, they went and give all of the top three, after the final three, gave each other a hug. Yeah. Perkovic didn't look like she was that interested though. She's like, whatever. And then you said her little performance, she's a kind of like, she's a show woman. She likes to put on a little show. I like that. Yeah, I really like that. She has some attitude, yo. Yeah. And that's what, I'm not opposed to that, you know what I mean? I know you're not either. Marco Arop has just gotten a hold of us, so he's going to be joining us now or soon. For those who don't know, Marco is 800-meter runner from Canada, doing his thing on the circuit, ranked number 4 in the world.
22 years old.
22 years old, and
he's tall. You said he's super tall, no?
Remember I had him as my fan favorite? Yeah, he's about 6'5", 6'6". I thought he had a really strong chance at medaling, yo.
He did. And obviously he's shown this now, post-Olympics, winning the last 2, Diamond Leagues, and then obviously coming third here. He beat the Olympic champion 2 days ago.
He did, yo.
You thought he had a good chance of medaling, and he made it through to the semi? I don't think he made it through to the final.
But he didn't make it to the final, but he should have. A lot of times in the 800, you got to displace your race the right way, and a lot of times we were seeing him take the race out
really strong,
and he was trying to hold on for longer and longer. I think with the heat, and I'm gonna actually ask him about this. I think with the heat, he wasn't able to maintain his energy throughout the rounds the way he wanted to, so he took it out. But at the latter part of the race,
does he live in Canada?
No, he trains in Mississippi actually.
That's hot.
I know.
Dude, I'm like, if you train in Canada, that cold ass winter and stuff, yeah. But if you're living in Mississippi in the South, no, dude.
Yeah, man. So
he might be all right. It's just experience. He's 22.
22. He's obviously the pressure at an Olympics when you first go is obviously really high. So I mean, you just got to get used to round running. I've seen it in the past with other 800-meter runners, but the talent level of this kid is just through the roof. Like I said, he's like 6'5", smooth as hell, and has guts. You know, when you're able to take the race out and push the pace, it shows that you ain't afraid to be at the front and let people draft off of you, and you got confidence that you'll be able to hold on. So I mean, we're gonna see what happens with him. I think that Canada has a really big history in the 800 meters. We've had world championship silver medalists, Gary Reed
in the 800.
Yep. Brandon McBride, who's the Canadian record holder right now, perennially in the top 5 while he was healthy. He's a bit injured right now. But I think Marco is a future gold medalist. Maybe at Worlds next year. I don't know. It's a good chance he's going to win the Diamond League final.
He has everything. I mean, you know me, I love a physique. When I look at someone's physique and what it takes for their event, I get a vibe. And obviously, he looks very domineering. His physique, the way he carries himself. I do feel like there's a little bit of like timidness maybe, but I liked, you know, like a little bit, but that's something maybe that you can grow into. Yeah. You know, who knows? But one thing I did like before the Olympics is the races I saw him doing before. He was taking it out, and then I remember seeing him dying at like 80 meters to go. Then the next race, he's dying at like 50 meters to go, and I was like, oh, by the time he gets to the Olympics, that's it. He's gonna do it. Obviously, something didn't quite go to plan, but then you see him doing it now. Yeah. So I think there was a few athletes that kind of mistimed the Olympics. And I don't know if it was I don't know if it was training. You know, I don't know if it was the mental side of everything you've got to go through being at that Olympics and all the kind of Olympics. Yeah, the COVID. You know, but yeah, it's interesting to think about. But
well, Marco won, like we said earlier, won Lausanne, won Prix, and the success post games we're seeing with him. But if we're talking about the Diamond League finals this year, I don't think that there's been a year before where I'd be like, yo, I can't wait to see what happens at the Diamond League final. And I think that seeing so many races that were happening after the games, I was like, dang, there's so many, because I only remember 1 or 2 meets being after most championships, like Worlds or the Olympics. But now we're seeing a bunch of.
But is it too much? Races. Is it too much too soon? Like, how the hell you got Lausanne 2 days ago and then this athlete's going from there to there? There's no space to breathe. Wow. There's no space to recover. Now you're saying we've got Brussels in a couple of days, because the Grand Prix final, Lord of mercy. That is, whoa. I said Grand Prix final. Remember the
Grand Prix final.
That is really show my age.
Grand Prix final, wow.
That was when it was good though. I like the Grand Prix final. The Grand Prix final was so good.
If you were on the Grand Prix,
the Golden League.
There was a Golden League and then Grand Prix. But if you were doing Grand Prix, it still seemed like it was a high level. Continental Tour seems like we just know that, okay, it's not the Diamond League. Grand Prix, yeah, we knew it was less than Golden League, but it still seemed like it has some sort of prestige.
It did. I did show my age there, but I don't know if there's just too many meets after, because the Diamond League finals on the 8th and 9th of September. Yeah. So we've still got over a week, like 10 days or something. Yeah. So I don't know if they should have more before, or are you feeling like it's something that there's too many?
Well, I really feel I'm the type of person that just loves to see track. But what I don't like is when I'm watching it from a viewer standpoint and I'm like, well, it doesn't seem to have the same oomph, and I'm seeing it trail off. I'll go watch a local meet with some bums, yo. Like, I don't care. I just want to see some track and field.
You're a true track and field fan.
Yeah, you're passionate about track and field, but there's times
you know what it is. I'm passionate about. I do love the performances. I'm not gonna lie, but I love the the story. I love when it connects to my heart. I love what's behind it. You know, how they got to that performance. What it's really. And so once the major championship's done, it's like you see athletes just falling way off. And you're like, why are you still competing? There's nothing inspiring about that to me. Now you know that they're like, to me, I'm like, well, maybe they're on a money hunt. You know, they're on the chasing the money around, which is cool. I'm all for that. But for me as a viewer watching, I'm like, I just know what it is. So I'm like kind of not inspired anymore.
It's not inspiring.
And also, to be honest, the Diamond League, the way that they're like the other day, we turned it on. They show Carson like for a split second, and then bang, he's in the blocks, and then the race. No, like we don't know who and what is in the race. We just know that the race is going. There's no lead up. Like even in the men's, in a lot of the field events, we don't know the whole field. They only actually show us the final three.
Right.
Crazy.
Right. Well, our guest has arrived. Finally, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yo, big up the one named Marco Arop, yo. Every day, all day. Yo, you got a roommate out there, or you got your own room?
I'm here with Anderson. You know Anderson Peters?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they got y'all rooming together again. I know for a
Remember
while.
those days?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I was never good enough not to have my own room.
You were never not good enough.
Not yeah. I was always sharing someone. Actually, I think once.
Oh,
actually.
You're saying you always had a room? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think when you really, really make it to that, you know, then you get your own room.
I'm not quite there.
No, yet. Nearly though. Nearly. You're getting there. You're getting there.
Yeah.
But yo, check this out though. You've been having some success post games. So, well, let's talk about the games first because you looked really good going into the championships. So I had you medaling, you know that. I kept DMing you medal symbols and stuff like that. So I know it's there.
Sorry,
but tell us, no, don't apologize, dude. You're 22, so it's all good. Tell us, you know, what happened in that semi and what you were feeling and, you know, how the result turned out.
So going into it, like during the warm up, I knew I wasn't feeling as good as I was the prelims. I think my biggest mistake in the semi was focusing too hard on the game plan, and that was to like go out in front, lead the race, start to finish, just like I did the day before, when I should have really just let the race come to me. And based off of how my body's feeling, I got to make adjustments sometimes, and I made a decision and stuck with it. Got to live with the result, and yeah, it's gonna happen. But I think I learned a valuable lesson there.
Listen, the lessons are what it's about, you know. At the end of the day, if you don't have these lessons, it kind of makes, I feel like, imagine if you just came out at 22, you win the Olympics, it was really easy, there was just, you'd be like, how are you going to appreciate it to the extent that you could? That's not going to make you as hungry, right? So
that wouldn't be bad either.
you gotta maintain some sort of
you're like, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Of course, I know, but you know.
I'm sure right after the race, was it hard, or were you at peace with how everything happened? Did you need a day or two to?
I felt like I sort of accepted whatever result happened before the start of the race. Like I knew, win or lose, I'm just gonna give it my best effort. And it sucked that I didn't make it through, but I figured that it's not a bad problem to have. Like there's so many worse things that can happen in life, and like you said, there's
bigger
important
picture.
lessons to be learned there. Yeah, exactly.
Can we just confirm how tall you are? You actually are. What's your actual height? Because we're kind of trying to figure it.
6'4", 6'5" on a good day.
6'5".
Yeah, I think it's 6'5". I think it's 6'5". No, because when I met you, I was like, what is going on here? Because even Brandon McBride, even he's taller than I expected. He's taller than me too. And I think he's 6'4". And you,
I haven't actually officially checked my height in a while.
Yeah.
I sort of stopped looking at it after I dropped basketball.
Oh, you used to play ball?
Yeah, back in the day.
And you were serious with it?
This man said back in the day, and he's 22.
I know. That's it, back in the day.
Back in the day is like when you were born. Like back in the day.
I don't believe that.
Yeah. So, I mean, characteristically not typical for 800-meter runners. So what are the challenges that come with being such a tall 800-meter runner?
You said being a tall 800-meter runner?
Yeah, because characteristically, I mean, we've seen success for some tall ones. Obviously, with a thing more on the women's side, really tall. I don't know anybody who's as tall as you.
Record? That dude's tall.
Yeah.
He's 6'5".
I think. Rhodesia.
Yeah.
The world record.
Yeah.
I think 6'3".
I think it's about 6'3", 6'2". Yeah, around there.
He looks tall.
But definitely an advantage, just like the amount of space you have. It's hard for other athletes to get around and all that. But a huge disadvantage is not being able to maneuver like through traffic easily.
Right. You get clipped a lot.
Race, and yeah, that's very common. And I don't think people realize how long your legs are until they clip you.
Right.
Everyone's bundling up everyone, but is that why you kind of, because I noticed, right? So I first really became aware of you obviously this year before the Olympics, all the meets that were going on, Diamond Leagues, whatever, and I was like, this guy is taking these guys out. And then there was I think one of the first meets, I think you took out the race, you were gone, and then you came into the home straight, and I think at about like 80. That lactic, it's like, okay, you saw the lactic just go pow. But then by the next race, it was like 50. And then by the next race, it was like 30 out. It's like, okay, by the time the Olympics comes.
I was like, this guy's about to go all the way to the finish line as soon as the gates go.
Exactly. That was the hope. Like at some point, I would be dying slower.
Right.
I hold it maybe up until the last 20 meters. Like if we kept pushing it, eventually we were going to get to where we needed to be. But it's nice to get out and stay out of traffic, but sometimes it's just so hard not knowing where everybody is in the race, and then seeing them all in the last 100 meters. It's just but I think at some point we'll get that strength.
Yeah. This is the most you've ever traveled in a season, as far as so what kind of challenges have come with that, and what have you learned being on the circuit and dealing with all these new changes?
A huge challenge is the sleep. Like my sleeping schedule wasn't great before all the traveling, and it hasn't helped at all. Just like the jet lag going back and forth between time zones. But I feel like that's another. Sorry.
We thought your Wi-Fi cut out. Yeah, we know about that European Wi-Fi.
That hotel lobby Wi-Fi.
Hotel lobby Wi-Fi. Yeah.
But I was gonna say, I feel like there's many like things that I could do to improve. Improving the sleep and getting used to jet lag would definitely make a difference.
How are you liking the food in Europe?
It's not bad. I'm not a big foodie. Surprisingly, like I can eat just about anything and feel okay. So yeah, I'm sure some people would say it could be better, but I'm not complaining at all.
Oh, good. Yeah, usually it's quite a shock when people start having to come over to Europe, and even for me and for British people, you go to all the competitions, you're like, what this food is.
I bet you continental tour food may not be the greatest, but that Diamond League food, I think they'll be all right.
True.
Usually some good spots.
We usually keep it safe, like before meets, and then like after. I might have maybe a week before the next race, so I can't even try different foods. Like it's.
So I know a few 800-meter runners, and they're very intense. They're very, and it's always on. You know what I'm saying? Whether Brandon's a cool guy, but he's intense once you start talking about track. And I don't know if you remember or heard about Gary Reed. Very intense. You know what I'm saying?
I've never met him, but I've heard a few things.
Well, yeah, he had the Canadian record before Brandon, so you would have heard about him. But you are very meek, very subdued. Does that change when you get to the line, or is that just how you are in general?
It changes. I feel like we always have to have this mentality going into races. Like, we can be friendly off the track, and I see every other 800 guy on the circuit. They're just probably the friendliest people you'll meet, but then as soon as the race starts, it's like every man for himself, or every woman for themselves in their races. It's just it's a battlefield out there, and there's no room for kindness.
There We've been talking about this lately. Like, there's not been in our day less people liked each other. Less people in event liked. We're not liking each other, but everyone likes each other until they get on the line.
Right.
But they're still performing, which is what I felt like, and we felt like we couldn't necessarily do. Yeah. It's like if you like someone, how the hell are you going to take take them out and want to? But obviously, clearly, this generation has just been able to do it. Like, oh, let's be friends, hug, let's off the and then switch on. Yeah,
it's strange. Like I could, obviously, we never want to lose, but there's like a certain understanding that like. You still, no matter who you're like, I don't know how to articulate it, but like you could be friends and have a healthy rivalry, a healthy competition. Like you don't have to be toxic and
hating people.
Yeah, it's true.
Like
it's true.
I don't think it's good, especially like after this is all said and done. I still want to be able to hang out with those guys and talk to them and
making sense. You're making sense.
This makes so much sense.
We're just old school. We're just stuck in our ways.
I'm telling you this. If I could have changed something, this is what I would have changed. I would have wanted to be more friendly while I was around, make some friends, because these are the people you're growing up with. These are the people you see every day. These are the people that know who you are and what you're going through. And then when you leave, let me tell you, it's great if you've got friends all over the world. It's like easy. Right. Like, I can go here on holiday. I'm going to go see here. When you don't do that, it's like.
Yeah. When I was early in my career, when mans used to get injured, although the sprinters would just look at each other, well, one less person to worry about, yo. And I realized it was time to retire near the end of my career when I was like, dang, yo, he got hurt, yo. He got mouths to feed, man. I kind of feel it for him, but it's just wisdom because you realize what's more important. You ain't really like trying to off each other. So
no, you're right.
You're mature beyond your years, which is fine.
It's strange. There's like some people would say it makes the sport more exciting. It brings
it does.
More of an audience, but
it kind of does.
It does.
Personally, there's
we hear you, man. We hear you.
Yeah.
In life, I'm always afraid of the guys that are smiling all the time. So I'd be afraid of you. You're
I'm scared of Sam Kendricks the most out of anyone.
Yeah. Like,
he scares me the most out of any person. I really like him, but he scares me the most. He's unbelievably smiley and happy and just very scary. But one of the things I wanted to say is you've been very consistent. Like we realized in Lausanne 144.51, today 144, was it 73? Was it 73 or
74, I think.
74.
Yeah.
So the consistency's there.
That's one thing that I was really proud of this season. I think just being able to run 144. I don't think I've had, my slowest race was that Olympic semifinal this year. No, the Olympic prelims.
Mm-hmm.
The other races being, I think, under 145. But I think that just shows that all the base training has really paid off. And it's nice to be able to run consistently, but I'd like to have a few more like 143s, but I think it'll come with time. And
you won you won Lausanne, you came third today. You're in contention for the Diamond League Championship, which I feel like it's going to take 143 mid to low. Personally, I feel like it's going to be. So how do you get to there? What do you think's missing right now?
I think I need to do rest for sure. But, just going into each race with the same mentality, and that's that whichever. However the race unfolds itself, I have to be able to adjust on the fly. I can't go into races thinking of a specific time I want to run or specific place even. I just have to, well, not specific place. We always want to finish first, but I've got to be able to do what's necessary to win it. And that sometimes we don't make that decision until the gun goes off.
The interesting thing, what you're saying, is we just spoke to Gwen Berry, and she was basically talking about one of the things that she needs to work on, that she's going to be wanting to work on, is her mental approach, because she knows she's physically got everything that is necessary to be the best in the world. But she said that she just overthinks, and sometimes that stops her from actually going and doing, and actually just go and do it. And she knows she will, but so that's something she's going to work on. So it sounds like a little bit the same, where in the Olympics, which is obviously the big occasion, you're going to have this race plan. If it's not quite going to plan, and you're not exactly where you want to be on the bell or in this point in the race, and then you're thinking, when actually physically you've clearly got it, and it's just about going and doing it.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think the biggest thing is just having confidence in yourself, and knowing that like if the strength is there, you've got to be willing to be open-minded and like improvise. It's a weird lesson to learn, because sometimes, like Eugene, for example, I found myself in the back of the pack. That wasn't the plan, but I was confident in my skills, and I knew that as long as I stayed relaxed, I should be fine. I didn't have the confidence in Tokyo to do that. That wasn't in the plan, and maybe it would have been a good idea to try, but once the confidence is there, I think us athletes, we really get to show the strength that we know we're capable of showing.
Absolutely. So where are you going next? Are you going to Brussels, or is there another meet that you're going to go to? Or
no, I'll be camping out in London for a few days, and then it'll be exciting.
Come and check us. Come and hook up with us. We're in London.
You guys are there?
Yeah.
Oh,
do you know where you're going to be based?
In Brunel University.
Oh, Brunel. Yeah, that's like, it's a bit of a ways, but it's not too bad. London's one of those places that's quite big.
I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Yeah, I'd come check you, yo. Let me know.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously not the games that you wanted, but what could happen later on in this year to salvage that, if anything? You know, would a Diamond League championship do it? Would top 3 at the Diamond League? Would a Canadian record salvage it? Would a new personal best salvage it?
It's a different feeling. I think I've sort of put the games behind me now. There's nothing that can change the outcome of that. But it would be nice to, like you said, win the Diamond League final, break a Canadian record. Like, if I can do that in one meet, great. If I can't, then it is what it is. But I'm confident. I know I have it. I know I'm capable of doing it. It's just a matter of going out and doing it.
Well, I think you've got a little bit of time, you know. You've got a few years.
22, right?
Yeah. I mean, you never know what's guaranteed in this sport. Like,
true, but
you never know.
You guess what you do know? When you're 38, you know that there ain't that much time left. That's what you do know.
Yeah.
You know, but whereas at least who knows what could happen between now and when you're 38, but at the same time, there's lots of time to kind of figure it out, so
I understand where you're coming from.
Just enjoy it, man.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I wish I did more of. Enjoying.
You sound like a dad.
I know, right?
That's what your parents say. I always
thought about these conversations.
You know these. You know when you sound like that parent. Oh God.
Yeah,
you're giving dad vibes.
you know when you hit your 40s, this is what happens. Jesus.
I'll take it. That's how I got to this point. Whatever you did.
Yeah. But yo,
you're saying.
Respect for the tuning, yo. We
Thank you.
Make sure you holler at me when you get out here, yo. I'll come check you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I appreciate you too.
Yeah, keep doing your thing, yo. You know we rate you over here. Big up the one named Marco Arop, yo. And
Marco!
We're gonna be looking out for you to get that Diamond League final win, and then you can come talk to us again, yo.
Yeah.
Back.
All right, respect,
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys have a good
Good
night.
luck.
Yeah, yo, cool.
Got you in London, hopefully.
Yeah,
sure,
definitely.
All right, peace.
All right. Yeah.
Wow.
See ya.
Yeah,
there
man.
you go. That was good. He's lovely.
Yeah.
He's got that Canadian energy about him. You know, that nice Canadian energy.
Do I have that? I'm very nice.
You're very nice, and unless
I'm a London man still.
Unless you get into an argument with you, and then it's.
I'm a London man still.
Yeah.
He broke out of his shell a little bit to tell me I'm giving him dad vibes. I'm a jerk for that
there
still,
you go.
Marco.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool to catch up with an athlete that's on the circuit.
Yeah, we did that with Aaron Brown. After pre. It was really nice. He ran well. He ran pretty well today.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like he ran
he'd
well.
Be alright with that. He likes them outside lanes.
But yeah, it was nice to kind of catch up with the athletes that are in it. But I think it's really also nice to catch up with lots of athletes that have been there and done it, and kind of from our generation. I feel like it's very nostalgic, you know. So we didn't get to do that today. We spoke to 2 athletes that are still doing their thing.
Well, Bianca.
I know. Well, hopefully you can get her back on another time.
Yeah, another time. I'm sure she'll come through.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can carry on with some old school conversation.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be doing Brussels.
No.
Most people are probably going to be chilling through Brussels. But we do have a podcast coming out sometime next week, diving a bit more into that mental health stuff we were talking about earlier. It's been high demand for something on mental health because it's been an issue, and especially with what happened with Sydney.
So many athletes.
And what a lot of athletes are dealing with. And the demand's been from a lot of coaches and athletes. So I think that people want the conversation to happen.
I think this year was a big year for it because if you know, even from outside the sport with Naomi Osaka, when she came out and like pulled out of like Wimbledon or whatever it was, and she was like, it's her mental health, and then from Simone Biles at the Olympics, and that was all to do with her mental. So I think that it's starting to become a conversation and a topic that needs to be had. Might be a bit uncomfortable because you know it doesn't always go with how we see these superhuman athletes, like they're actually fallible, or they've actually got some doubts, or they've got some, you know, limitations. But, you know, to me, like with anything, physically, if I've got weak hamstrings, I'm going to go and do some work to get them strong. Doesn't mean they got to stay weak forever. I know that's a place that I can improve, and that's the same with the mental. Like we spoke to Gwen, you know, with Marco, what he was just saying. I feel like it's a really good place to be able to improve, but we need to have the conversation. The stigma needs to go a little bit. And I think just having the conversations makes a difference. So I think that's going to be our podcast this week or next week, whenever we decide to get it done.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. And,
it's a good one.
Yeah. Respect for all the support viewers.
Yeah.
The good comments and the bad. We
like it all.
We love it all, yo. All of it, yo. We love y'all.
But just know that if you give us bad comments, just be ready for...
More than likely we'll say something back, but we still love it, yo.
We do.
We can't agree on everything.
It's all about the conversation, exactly.
Yeah. So respect for the tuning, respect for the support. Keep an eye out for that podcast. Share and tell your friends. Subscribe on all platforms. Love each other. Exactly. Be good. Have perspective.
Yeah.
Keep an open mind.
Look at you.
Have the discussions before you hate.
So good. Discussions are great. Opinions are great, but just no hate. That's it. Simple things.
Anything you want to add?
No, that's it. Anson Henry, I think we're done. Till next time.
I respect everybody. Big up yourselves, yo. And we're going to be back around, yo. Catch up with y'all. Peace.